community. This video is for educational and documentary purposes only. This video is not intended to incite or encourage illegal behavior in any way. Every effort has been made to remove any content which violates YouTube's community guidelines. If you'd like to see an uncut version of this video with everything that I can't show you on YouTube, head on over to patreon.com/TraplawRoss. Supporters of the channel also get access to my recent vlogs with Academics and Adam22, as well as my up-and-coming artists. And then you have legends like Jay-Z and 50 Cent, whose tales of life in the streets as gangsters made them millionaires hundreds of times over. For decades now, rap fans have been looking for the realest artists, whose lyrics paint the picture of a real life of crime that isn't embellished or fabricated. But when it comes to rappers who truly keep it real, the Chicago drill scene has dominated for the last decade. First popularized by Chief Keef, the Chicago drill wave was characterized by rappers that grew up in the most dangerous blocks in America, with these up-and-coming artists rapping plainly and honestly about what they experienced growing up. Shootings on the block, disrespecting dead enemies, and constantly being chased by the police. Chicago drill rappers took gangster rap to raw new heights, where the stories behind the music could be matched up with the local
STL can get right final hours. Damn,
however, what happens when the people doing the killing start making the music too? Because in the years after Chief Keef popularized the violent stories of Chicago gang life, one of those gangsters killing people in the streets picked up a microphone too, and started rapping in the first person from the perspective of the actual killer. King Von had a reputation in Chicago as a fearless killer before he'd even started rapping, and it's widely believed, based on the statements he made in his own songs, that Von himself could have killed as many as 7 people in his career as a gangster, with more murders even taking place after he got rich and famous, with it being rumoured that Von used his money and influence from the rap game to have old enemies in Chicago, with it being
100,000, stupid. What you think I'm waiting on? Whoa. Whoa. Whoa, I never saw that tweet. That's kind of crazy. Rewinding? Because I never seen this tweet, Chad. This tweet is crazy.
Rumored that Von used his money
2018,
and
buddy.
influence
It's
from the
December
rap game
2018.
to have
Duck
old
died in
enemies
2020.
in Chicago killed, and going on a journey which, in my opinion, takes him far beyond a street player who had to kill to survive in the mean streets of Chicago. Because if King Von's tweets are anything to go by, he simply loved killing people. And the sheer amount of people...
Me and T-Roy, we murder for fun.
Because if King Von's tweets are anything to go by, he simply loved killing people.
But that's a motive, right, Chad? Come on.
And the sheer amount of people that King Von allegedly played a role in killing has led to intense speculation as to whether he was a full-blown serial killer. A title which King Von's enemies even said that him and his friends took personal pride in. Now, the FBI defines a serial killer as a person who kills over 3 people with time spans in between them of more than a month.
Okay, so this is the definition. Okay, so let me go ahead and drive back. Let me go ahead and go back real quick. Let me see. Yo, Rage.
Yo.
This is the definition, brother. You ready?
Oh my fucking
Just listen.
God,
Just listen. This is to the FBI, right?
The FBI.
A serial killer.
Like, do you hear this nigga,
hold
bro?
Hold on. A serial killer is typically a person who murders 3 or more persons, with the murders taking place over more than a month, including a significant period of time between them.
You done read the definition?
That's the definition.
Okay, now read the first sentence of the second paragraph. Just read it out loud for me.
Psychological gratification is the usual motive for serial killing. The usual motive for serial killing.
Fucking
hold
God.
on. And many hold on. And many serial murders involve sexual contact with the victim.
Yeah.
FBI states that the motive of serial killers can include anger, thrill seeking, and financial gain and attention seeking. So let me ask you this.
Is that not what Flex just said? Attention seeking.
Okay.
And thrills.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Do you think Von was attention seeking with his killings?
No, the motive was opposite gang members, gang. Like, what the fuck?
But it
like,
could.
The motive was retaliation, gang. Like, what the fuck are you saying?
I absolutely agree with you. But one could look at it as attention seeking. Because he was bragging about it. He was boasting about it. You know what I'm saying? One could look at it that way. I'm not saying I look at it that way. You feel me? I'm just letting you know.
Yo, dog. I just think the term the term serial killer and King Von, I just don't think they go hand in hand.
Okay,
man.
so look, this is
I think it's more of an exaggeration because of how many bodies he is supposedly supposed to have.
Okay, look,
that's what I think.
This is what I'm saying, Rage. I'm not saying that this nigga is not tryharding on this. He's for sure tryharding. You know what I'm saying?
Like, exactly. That's a form of dick riding.
But hold on.
Niggas are dick riding.
Right. But at the exact same time, like, Vaughn did kind of like the aspect of him being looked at as a killer. He did kind of like the respect. He did want the respect. You know what I'm saying? You see the niggas tweets.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm saying that one could look at that as attention seeking. So, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm gonna play the video. You know what I'm saying? But I got you, Chad. Don't worry. I got you. I'm sorry. I'm serious. You know what I'm saying?
Furthermore,
Chad, do y'all believe he was?
An element of psychological gratification, which plays a role in the motive for their murders. The FBI also state that a serial killer might seek various kinds of gratification through their killings, such as anger, thrill-seeking, financial gain, or simply for attention. I personally believe that over the course of his career, King Von demonstrated all of these characteristics.
I think he did a little bit
as a serial killer. King Von
could be
frequently
classified,
exhibited
but I don't think
behavior
he
in
is,
public that conformed with these rules, tweeting regularly about his desire to kill, bragging about having committed specific murders in his music, which attracted him international attention, and Billboard charted songs, with his drill anthems about murdering rivals, making him a rich man with millions in his bank account. The FBI also point out another characteristic of serial killers, specifically that their victims may all have something in common. For example, a demographic profile, appearance, gender, or race. And it would appear that King Von only killed young black men and women from the community he lived in. These were all people just like him, being born into a rundown part of Chicago and growing up with a lot of disadvantages. All that really separated Von from his victims were the fact that they were from a rival territory, and he believed that nobody would miss them. King Von has officially been implicated in 4 murders, 2 where he was suspected of being involved, but the police didn't have enough evidence to charge, and 1 case where he narrowly received a not guilty verdict after a key witness disappeared and a co-defendant implicated himself. Another that he's accused of organising with 5 of his closest childhood friends. The shooting of rival rapper FBG Duck in broad daylight at a busy shopping district, Von will never face justice for due to him losing his life only months before the feds would swoop in and arrest all 5 of his close friends. This particular murder would go down as one of the most brazen assassinations carried out in Chicago since the days of Al Capone. But in total, there's over 10 murders of which King Von has been connected to over the years. Nobody has looked into all of them.
I felt like it was, they said 7, but now that they added the duck, you know what I'm saying? The duck one. Chad, does that really count as a body? Chad, does it count?
Detail until now. So today, we're going to take a closer look at the man, his past, and his career to find out once and for all if King Von really was the first serial killer in hip-hop history.
He was in jail for 2 murders?
Yeah, 1 murder and 2 attempts.
4 shooters and a hail of bullets.
All of them was scatter bomb. All of them was scatter bomb.
Police found several shell casings in his parking lot.
King Von was bloodthirsty. He loved death. He loved killing.
I got a lot of questions. Just free, how many I think?
King Von had an insatiable obsession with murder and violence.
The shooting leaves 1 person dead, 4 others injured.
Me? Hey, I know you. You ain't know me. Are you?
King Von probably would have been considered like a serial killer.
They labeled the man a serial killer.
Nah, that's crazy. If Academic says that, that's crazy. Facts.
King Von, real name Davon Bennett, was born on August the 9th, 1994 in Chicago, Illinois, growing up on West 78th and South Hermitage in an area known as Killer Ward, an area mainly
I'm sorry, chat. I'm sorry. Hold on. Yo, Flex.
You said what, boy? Oh, hold on. Damn, I didn't even know I was in this.
Yo, Flex.
Yo.
I'm just saying, even Academics said it. You feel me? I'm just saying.
Bro, look, bro. I'm not trying to hear nothing about how this nigga no fucking serial killer, bro. For one, hold on, look, right, Pete.
I'm listening.
If you a fucking serial killer, bro, you going out and you smoking motherfuckers just 'cause you like how they look and shit, like, bro, you got a real mental illness, bro. The motherfuckers who done kill his people, said fuck his dead people, all this and that, but that's not just serial killing, bro. He got a motive behind that shit. Motherfuckers is provoking him doing that shit. Bro, he's a fucking gangbanger, bro. He going, like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, bro, serial killers are not gangbangers, bro. Bro, them niggas literally can go kill shit for no reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, go schools and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like little weird shit. They're just doing crazy ass shit for no reason. You feel what I'm saying?
Listen,
bro.
I'm not gonna. All right, bro.
I'm not. No, hold on, Pete. Yo. I'm not trying to justify him killing motherfuckers. I'm just saying, like, that's not serial killing. Like, don't.
I know what
I'm trying
you
to
mean.
say it's serial killing.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I'm gonna drag you back.
All
right.
Affiliated with the Chicago gangs, the Gangster Disciples, and the Black P Stones. Von would attend Barton Elementary School in the area, but despite starting life as a fairly normal kid in Chicago, he would be subjected to the influence of gangbanging in his family home from a young age. His father was Walter E. Bennett, aka Silk, a well-known street dude from nearby Ada Park. Von was mainly raised by his mother, as his father was in and out of jail throughout his childhood. But Von's father was apparently a legend in the streets, with ties to the street gang, the Black Disciples. However, much like Von, despite the fearsome reputation he'd earned in the streets, it would ultimately be this proximity to gang life that would lead to his father's demise.
I mean, it could have been
King Von's dad, Silk, was shot dead when Von was only 11 years old, apparently being targeted by a sniper outside of a skating rink, according to an interview with King Von's uncle.
Rest in peace, King Von. Rest in peace, Silk. That's crazy. Like, I'm with Big Bro every day. My killer's daddy with a sniper rifle. This get deep, though. You know what I'm saying?
His dad got sniped?
Yeah, a sniper. I hit him with a sniper rifle. They at the skate rink, but you know, that's another story.
It seems clear that King Von's father, Silk, was remembered as a legend of the block. However, coping with the loss of his father at such a young age clearly had a negative effect on the mindset of a young King Von. He would tweet and rap in freestyles years later that he simply couldn't sleep after his father's death.
They killed my daddy, I couldn't even go to sleep.
And throughout his teenage years, he would post RIP tributes to his father on Twitter to commemorate his birthdays. Naturally, Von would follow in his father's footsteps, getting involved in local gang politics at a young age, with Von actually telling 16-shot and visuals in his very first interview that he got involved in the streets in 4th grade, eventually getting his hands on guns by the time he got to high school.
You was out here toting pipes in 4th grade, like when you started?
I probably had a BB gun or something. It wasn't that hectic, like, it ain't get, I just been, you know, in the streets with awesome. I just like being outside. I'm one of the little boys that like sneaking out, just being outside all day, just doing bad. When the gun, all that shit come to play to like what? High school. Yeah, like late 8th grade or some 7th, 8th grade when it really got to that point where you gotta hurt somebody or somebody trying to hurt you and you gotta protect yourself.
Von would rap on the unreleased song Wait that he jumped off the porch, getting deeply involved in gang politics in 2006 when he was just 12 years old. Von would initially be a member of a...
Sorry, Chad, I gotta read the lyrics. Now let's take it to the wig, but off the porch is 06. Don't remember my first kiss, but I remember my first lick. Don't remember my first, but I remember my first hit. Oh my God!
Politics in 2006, when he was just 12 years old. Von would initially be a member of a local street crew affiliated with the Gangster Disciples called Killer Ward, being seen in numerous group pictures with that crew. And affiliates from the area would later post tweets suggesting that Von was indeed putting in work for this crew during his time gangbanging in Killer Ward, with Von himself corroborating that he was close to the members in Killer Ward where he was born, but making it clear that he's always been a member of the Black Disciples due to his family affiliation. Now, Von would live around Killer Ward up to around 2008 or 9, after which he would eventually move to the infamous Parkway Gardens housing development. This housing complex is notorious for its affiliations with the Black Disciples street gang. Parkway Gardens would later be referred to by insiders as O-Block, but prior to that, it was referred to as Wick City. And here, King Von would meet many of the people who would end up having a huge influence on his life and career. People famous for their affiliation to O-Block, whether through the gang wars going on there, or through the music that had been made about the gang war. People like Boss Top, Chief Keef, T-Roy, White, Duke, BJ, Big A, Trey 5, Sherroid, J-Money, Platoon, and countless other people that played a big role in Von's life growing up. Von would also attend a new school in the area, the Hyde Park Academy, where he would attend with people from other rival territories with affiliations to the Gangster Disciples. People like FBG Duck, who would even claim in a Twitter exchange in
Man, you ain't never go to Hyde Park, boy, or you must not have been singing at the time, because you know I don't know you, but I'm out here, your homies know. We was finna beat you on the bus. Killer Ward saved you, but sure to get the fuck on, find you some business, Lil G. FBG Duck got to catch up.
2014 to have plotted to beat King Von up on the school bus, and people like Lil Mark, who Von would even be seen in throwback pictures with before their feud had escalated into something deadly. Von and his friends started out their gangbanging careers with fistfights with the ops at school, schoolyard scuffles that would unfortunately escalate over the coming years, developing into full-blown gang war with firearms involved. Over time, a teenage Von would begin getting more and more involved in Chicago's street gang conflicts, apparently bringing guns to school as young as age 13. Chop Squad, who went to school with both Von and G Herbo, would claim that Von would even show off guns in class, with it apparently being Von himself who started the trend of teenage gangbangers in their school bringing guns to class.
Von was the type of person to bring a pole to school at 13 for. Like, that's what me and Herb was talking about. He was like, he knew it was real when Von walked up to him in school. He was like, he had flashed a pole or something. He was like, Herb knew every day from there it was up. He was like, oh, we bringing guns to school? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, it's on now. He's like, every day from there, everybody brought guns to school. And he's like, Von was the one to start that off.
In fact, G Herbo would even later rap about this on a collaboration with Von called FaceTime, saying that Von showed him a revolver in freshman orientation, an experience which led G Herbo to begin bringing guns to school himself too. Now, King Von was apparently out of control as a youngster. According to one story, Von actually did a shooting on prom night whilst wearing his suit. After literally...
What is crazy is that the witness described Von's clothing as white, and this was the same day Von went to prom together with Mina Red, which Von also mentioned to the police. Whoa. There are pictures from this prom where Von had a white suit on him, and my guess is that Von did the shooting in his suit. What? What the fuck? What the fuck? This nigga was drilling in a suit?
Tweeting out that
Yo, Cat, what's the word?
Somebody better not try him in his suit. So naturally,
somebody try me, I got a suit on. Motherfucker still ain't that slow. Going off to prom. Nah, what the fuck? Yo, nah. This nigga was like that. Von Wick. What the fuck?
Amount of time in trouble with the law as a teenager, with large patches of most...
Brett.
Yo.
Hold on. Pause this here real quick.
I paused it.
I just got back to the crib, right?
Yeah.
And now, I don't know if I'm tweaking. Did that nigga just say Von did a hit in his fucking suit?
No, but did you see the report though? Did you see the backstory?
No, what happened? What happened? Let me see what this said.
Okay. See, this is why I said you gotta watch this shit though, bro. You gotta watch this shit. Like, yo, see, my chat is telling me, yo, Flex, pay attention or get the fuck on, because they tired of me going back. This shit's 3 hours, man. You're slowing up the time. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry after this.
So look, he said it was a report that Von from police, right? All right, look, just read this. What is crazy is that the witness described Von's clothing as white, and this was the same day Von went to prom together with Mina Red, which Von also mentioned to the police. There are pictures from the prom where Von had a white suit on him, and my guess is that Von did this shooting in his suit. That's what he's saying. Now hold on.
Literally tweeting out.
This the same day on the tweet. Going off to prom. Somebody try me. I got a suit on. Motherfucker still ain't that slow. It's just an alleged thing. It's nothing that's ever confirmed. He's not saying that it's confirmed. But the nigga who quote unquote got shot said that Von was wearing white that day. That's what he's saying. He said Von wore white that day, and you feel me? It was the exact same day where Von went to prom wearing the all white suit. That's all he's saying. You know what I'm saying?
They need this, type shit.
Somebody better not try him in his suit. So naturally, you can imagine Von ended up spending a significant amount of time in trouble with the law as a teenager, with large patches of his most formative years spent inside jail cells. Von went to jail for the first time around August 2010 at age 16 for armed robbery, apparently robbing someone for their car at gunpoint. Something that he would actually later refer to on his song Armed and Dangerous, saying that he was arrested on August 11th, 2 days after his 17th birthday, when he was offered 21 to 45 years in a plea deal. Von would end up spending time in boot camp, an intense military-style juvenile program, ultimately rewarding him with early release. But soon after that initial charge, Von would catch another in January 2011, ultimately spending 15 months behind bars as a juvenile, being locked up between December 2010 and March 2012. And during this time of incarceration, Von's best friend T-Roy would tweet calling for his release. Eventually, in March 2012, Von would be a free man once again, but he was only free for a matter of months, from March to November 2012. But during this time, Von would undergo a transformation, going from a gun-toting stick-up kid to a full-fledged killer after witnessing the death of one of his close friends, which, as he put it, turned him into a demon. Before we get into the first murders that King Von was allegedly involved in, I just want to take the time to consider the real reasons why he would be motivated to kill in the first place. Despite covering a lot of gangsters who are hardened killers, it's important to consider the social circumstances that need to exist for a teenage boy to start committing murders. Firstly, these areas where King Von grew up in Southside Chicago, Killer Ward and O Block, are incredibly poor and dangerous areas, with the latter even being described by the local Sun-Times newspaper as the most dangerous block in Chicago. Part of the reason why so many of these gangs...
Wait.
Newspaper as the most...
19 people were shot in 3 years on a stretch of King Drive where Michelle Obama once lived. 19 people shot in 3 years? Yo, that is insane. On one strip? Oh my God.
Most dangerous block in Chicago. Part of the reason why so many of these gang murders in Chicago go unsolved is due to the failure of policing in these areas. Someone like King Von...
Are you dumb? 19 in 3 years on one block? That's one block. Nigga, that is one block. What are you chatting about? 19 people in 3 years is bad. What are you talking about?
Grew up seeing death and destruction as a completely normal.
How far into are we into chat? We just got back on the gym. 12 minutes, brother. You just tuning in. Get a seat, get comfortable, get some popcorn. You know what I'm saying?
And if the police never come to your area to solve crimes or deliver justice, it's easy to see why you would place more trust in street justice than in the state. Furthermore, you really have to ponder whose fault is it really that somewhere like O Block ended up being so poor and dangerous. While it's easy to blame the gangsters and killers there for cultivating a lawless environment, the city and the state politicians ultimately have failed to create the economic circumstances for someone to grow up safely in these areas. Had there been better economic prospects in the hoods of Chicago, perhaps many of these young men wouldn't have been forced into a life of crime and violence. Furthermore, when it comes to the analysis of King Von's eventual transformation into what some have described as a serial killer, there's actually an argument to be made that geography may have played a part in King Von feeling like he could get away with so many murders. The 70s to the 2000s have actually been described as the golden age of serial murder, and one possible cause for this phenomenon around this period has been cited as urbanization and the concentration of inner city living. Some people have said that putting so many people in such close proximity ends up offering a unique level of anonymity when it comes to committing crimes in these complicated, busy and overpopulated areas. Put simply, this means that in O Block, the sheer amount of people, overlapping gang conflicts, and normalization of violence on the streets means that somebody like King Von could kill multiple people without attracting too much attention to him personally. As sad as it is to say, in the eyes of the cops, a victim is just another casualty of the gang war rather than a specific crime that could be solved. And it's these circumstances that were the perfect conditions for a young King Von to begin killing people in his community with minimal consequences. And whilst King Von was in jail, gun violence had raged on between the Black Disciples from Wick City and the rival Gangster Disciples from St. Lawrence and Eberhart Avenues, or STL-EBT. And during this time, whilst King Von was incarcerated, a 15-year-old gangster disciple from the rival hood by the name of Tuka was murdered. Real name Shondale Gregory, Tuka was shot dead at a bus stop on the 600 block of East 63rd Street on the 12th of January 2011 at around 6:48 PM. It was around that time that a masked gunman jumped out of a vehicle, shooting Tuka several times. Tuka was hated by his rivals from the Black Disciples, and over the next decade, BDs would continue to disrespect him on social media and in popular songs. And in honor of their fallen friend, Gangster Disciples from St. Lawrence and Eberhart would rename their area Tukaville. It's never been fully revealed to the public who killed Tuka, but ever since, there has been intense speculation that a boy named O.D. Perry from Wick City might have had something to do with it. This is partly due to him being pictured regularly.
I ain't gonna lie, now I'm thinking about it, Tuka's killer was never found.
With a silver revolver, and the witness report from the Tuka murder stated that Tuka was actually shot with a long-barreled silver revolver.
The victim then fell to the ground and the offender stood over the victim and shot him 3 additional times. Damn, RIP. With a long-barreled silver revolver.
Regardless of whether or not OD was really the person who killed Tuka, that didn't really matter, because later that year, on August the 10th, 2011, in an act of retaliation, OD Perry was killed just outside Parkway Gardens. He would suffer multiple gunshot wounds, including one to the neck, at about 11:35 PM. Just like Tukaville, Wick City was also renamed in the memory of their fallen friend OD.
Damn, this is how the beef really started.
And it's believed that one of the shooters who killed OD was a female teenage shooter by the name of Jakira Barnes, or KI. Following the murder, KI would begin to pose on social media with a silver revolver, similar to the one that OD was known to carry, and her rumoured involvement in this murder of a beloved O Block member would lead to KI becoming a major target herself, with matters not helped by the fact that she would regularly...
Shout out to OD for being target practice. Oh, nah.
...regularly tweet insulting OD Perry and alluding to having killed him, along with others who would openly claim that KI made the O, meaning that she...
Shout out to the twins, they made O Block, RPKI. RPK, people know what twins made O-Block. Shout out them twins that made O-Block. Damn, everybody's tweeting that shit.
He killed OD and was the one that caused Wick City to change the name of their block to O-Block. But the tragedies in O-Block were far from over. On the 18th of October 2011, another O-Block native by the name of Patoon, real name Edward Riley, would be shot dead inside O-Block after being approached by 2 people with firearms. Another devastating loss to the community would come when 19-year-old Sherroyd Liggins would be shot in the head and left for dead on February the 16th, 2012. Also at O-Block. This murder was particularly notable for the fact that it was believed that Sherroyd was killed by a Toukerville shooter by the name of Boss Trell. As the gang war in his neighborhood continued to take more and more of his friends' lives, King Von would get more and more involved, continuing to play a role in the gang war going on in Chicago's street underworld. Von later rapped on the song Don't Want to Be Me that everything changed for him in 2012, and that this is when he decided to get more active in the gang war. With Von saying specifically that the deaths of OD and Patoon completely changed his plans and led him to put on a mask and get active in the gang war. Now there's a lot of speculation about the exact murders that Von was allegedly involved in, and we might never know definitively if he was truly involved in all the violence that he was rumoured to be associated with, but the very first murder that Von was associated with took place on April the 28th, 2012, when a group of 4 men would catch a man called King Doc, real name Marlon Monroe, shooting him as he walked into a convenience store, with Doc apparently stumbling into a patch of tall weeds after the shooting, where he would pass away and lay undiscovered for hours. Doc would eventually be found dead by his 16-year-old cousin, Modell McCambry. Doc would be remembered as an original native of St. Lawrence and Eberhart Avenues, with his affiliation to the area likely the reason that the killers from O-Block would target him, despite the fact that Doc had apparently left the gang life behind him, becoming a painter to get out of the streets. Apparently hurt by the death of his cousin, Modell, that boy who discovered Doc's body, would then begin to get more involved in the gangs in the area too, beginning to hang around with people like KI and FBG Duck, as well as being seen on social media with guns. In fact, it's actually around this time that social media begins to play a bigger and bigger role in the gang war in Chicago. And during this time, King Von himself would become a prolific user of Twitter, beginning a flurry of activity on the platform after signing up
Twitter from BlackBerry, that's kind of crazy.
June 2012.
How does a nigga scroll all the way that down to find a nigga's first tweet, chat? Like, you're not scrolling all the way down to go find a nigga's tweet like that. Like,
going on to tweet constantly about his activities in the streets, seemingly with no fear about incriminating himself. Von would openly claim to be drilling in the name of O.D. Perry. He would say that he was like Phineas and Ferb in the streets with his best friend and fellow O-Block shooter T-Roy, warning ops not to diss them, claiming to shoot people like it's nothing. He would tweet that he's been drilling from young and even wants to kill cops too. He would say outright that he will whack people. He would regularly diss numerous rival hoods and gangs, and be claiming to be paranoid due to having so many people trying to kill him. Von claimed on Twitter to get so enraged whenever he hears the name Touker or St. Lawrence that his trigger finger just starts itching. But during this time that Von was tweeting openly about all the crimes that he was willing to do in the streets, these crimes would continue to play out. On August the 7th, 2012, Von would make a tweet saying that homicide is in the air and that it smells like a graveyard. Then, in the early hours of the morning the following day, on August the 8th, 2012, a group of guys from O-Block, rumored to include King Von and T-Roy, would be out looking for enemies to kill. Dirty Rel, real name Terrell Joshua, an older member with affiliations to St. Lawrence, Eberhart, and Jarrow City, who had actually moved out of Chicago but was back in town, would end up being shot dead and found on a sidewalk on the first block of East 56th Street in Washington Park just before 3:30 a.m. However, in this case, retaliation would come fast. As the day of August 8th, 2012 goes by, that same evening, around 11:30 p.m., King Von is out with his close friend White White, real name Tony Dunn. They would go to a convenience store together on East 63rd Street and South Martin Luther King Drive. Here, Von would go inside the store whilst White White waited outside. At this point, a gunman pulls up, shooting White White in the back, with a police officer on the scene even returning fire and hitting the shooter, who ultimately managed to escape. White White would be pronounced dead in the early hours of the morning on August the 9th, 2012. This date just so happened to be King Von's 18th birthday. This was a devastating incident for Von, who would tweet numerous times about the murder of his friend Whitey, including this one where he said that he had just bought Whitey a pill and gone inside the store, only coming—
White got killed on my birthday. I just bought that man a pill. He was on my ass. I went to the store, heard gunshots. Niggas ran out the store. I see folks them tweaking, crowding around Whitey. He got hit one time. He looked like he was straight though. Oh, but man, Damn.
Coming back outside to find a crowd surrounding his shot friend, and at first believing that Whitey would be okay. After this, Von would tweet messages saying that this killing is what led him to act out, and in the days following, he would be pledging to kill his enemies publicly. Von later elaborated on his mindset around this period in his song Demon, saying outright that witnessing the death of his close friend Whitey on his 18th birthday is the exact thing that turned him into a demon. And Von would rap that after this, him and his right-hand man T-Roy would be doing hits back-to-back to avenge this tragic loss. Von would apparently be trying to kill much more ruthlessly after this, desperately wanting to get at rival shooters K.I. and Wooski, who had mocked White's death on Twitter.
King Von from the Wick, like White, you could go night-night.
Wanting to get at rival shooters K.I. and Wooski, who had mocked White's death on Twitter. In September 2012, King Von and others caught K.I. on the train, apparently beating her up and mocking her on Twitter in the aftermath. Von would eventually catch up with K.I. in much more deadly circumstances, but not for a couple of years. For now, he would continue to gangbang in the streets with his O-Block brothers like T-Roy, ultimately winding up implicated in numerous murders as he continued to seek revenge
sad how all
for
of
the
them are
murder
dead
of
in jail, man.
and
That
one
shit's
body at a
wicked.
time, building up a fearsome reputation as one of O-Block's most ruthless killers. Chicago drill veteran Tay Capone would tell 16 Shot and Visuals in an interview that if you hung around King Von in 2012, you simply had to accept that you would be in shootouts.
If you was hanging with Von, you had to accept everything that came with Von. You had to accept that you was gonna be in shootings, accept that it was gonna be that, and you had to be with it, you feel me, with Von.
King Von was on a mission in 2012 to get revenge for the friends that he had lost to the gang war. Losing OD, Platoon and White turned him into a demon, he said. So he would spend every day in the streets of Chicago stalking his ops and broadcasting his activities on Twitter for the whole world to see. On September the 6th, 2012, Von would get arrested, even taking selfies for Twitter inside of the cop car.
That's kinda
He would
crazy.
post pictures of him and his partner in crime,
Yeah, that's
T-Roy,
kinda crazy.
dubbing themselves the O-Block Savages. In fact, after posting one picture together, one woman from O-Block even suggested that Von and T-Roy stop being photographed together.
O-Block came on a T-Roy in October 2012. O-Block Nina recommends they stop taking pics together due to their reputation as killers. Damn, this is her Twitter right here. Baby Boy and King Von gotta stop taking pictures together. The ops might show CPD. These they two hitters. Oh nah, that's a police ass tweet. What the fuck?
In case somebody sends it to the police. Von would tweet how him and T-Roy's names were ringing in the streets and that people were praising them for doing their thing, regularly using this as a catchphrase to refer to his drilling, tweeting warnings to the ops that he's about to go on their block and do his thingy thing, telling them that they have 2 hours to clear the streets and promising to blast them on sight. Von would even reflect on a conversation that he had had with T-Roy, saying that they can't die soon because they know they're going to hell for all the bad things they had done in the streets. Von would even openly tweet about shooting up Dunbar High School around this time. And surprisingly, Von would even
Dunbar getting shut up today,
openly
homie.
tweet about shooting up Dunbar High School around this time. And unsurprisingly, he would continue to be in the eyes of the law, being picked up in October for battery. But little did the police know just how serious Von's crimes were about to get in the coming weeks. On the 13th of October 2012, Von tweeted that he is about to pop these pills and spaz out on somebody, expressing frustration that he hasn't taken anybody down for a while and saying that he's getting dry.
Yeah, come on. Like, yo, he's getting a high off that shit. Like, damn, I need something to take down. I'm getting that dry on David. What?
Frustration that he hasn't taken anybody down for a while and saying that he's getting
Yo,
dry.
Flex,
Perhaps a
come
tweet
on,
with a
Flex.
double meaning that could refer to sex or murder. That very same day, Von would tweet that his ops party tonight is getting cancelled. Later, Von is tweeting asking for somebody to come and get him. And 30 minutes later...
Flex. There's a tweet that Von said. Von said some shit like catching the bodies like having sex or some shit. Come on, Flex.
Von tweets simply, "Ha," followed by 45 Glock me. That very night of October the 13th, 2012, Modell, that same teen who had found the body of his cousin King Doc dead just 6 months before, would be walking down the street with another one of his cousins.
When he died the same day? No fucking way.
Way to meet a girl. When just before 9:30 p.m, somebody approached them on foot, opening fire.
October 14th. This the same day. What the fuck?
Modell would be shot in the chest and later pronounced dead in hospital. No one was ever charged with this murder or attempted murder, but many years later, police...
Not the same day. It was a day after, but the shooting could be at like an AM or some shit. You really don't know type shit. Like
pronounced dead in hospital. No one was ever charged
Oh, it's
with
at
this
9:30
murder
PM,
or
so it was a
attempted
day
murder.
after.
But many years later, police documents would be released revealing that King Von himself was positively identified by a witness as the shooter, with T. Roy apparently at the scene too. This meant that King Von was the prime suspect in the murder. And not only that, but King Von would tweet immediately after the killing. Now, it's important to remember that Twitter timestamps run on Universal Coordinated Time. That's the same as UK time, and that's where I'm reading these tweets from, which is 6 hours ahead of Chicago time. So for me to get the exact time of a tweet that was made by King Von or KI or somebody else
12:28. Oh yeah, it's different times. I see it.
In Chicago, I have to take the time that it shows on Twitter and minus 6. I'm telling you this because Modell was shot at around 9:30 PM. That means that King Von tweeted who died about 17 minutes after the murder of Modell took place.
Oh my god. Yo, I ain't gonna lie, chat. This shit is crazy. Hold on. Chat, my food just got here. My Popeyes is here, chat. I don't know how that Popeyes appears so fast, but hold on. Yo, chat, y'all funny. Y'all said he did it. Hey, 17 minutes is wicked, but I ain't finna say he did it, chat. You know what I'm saying? Who knows who killed that man? But you feel me? Who knows who killed that man? You know? It is crazy though.
And that tweet was followed by yet another one, reading, "It's not safe around our way," which came less than an hour after the shooting. And Von's "Who died?" tweet would provoke responses from somebody who even knew Modell, with Von saying that the dead person is somebody that they know. In addition to that exchange, the female shooter from Tuckerville,
Wait, go back to the tweets? Who died? You. Nah, I ain't dead. That's somebody you know, homie. Oh, nah. Somebody innocent, you capping, homie. He said, oh, that's fucked up. Damn.
Is somebody that they know. In addition to that exchange, the female shooter from Tuckerville, KI, would end up getting arrested not long after this for apparently shooting indiscriminately into O Block, hoping to kill anybody in retaliation for Modell. None of this seemed to bother King Von, however, as he clearly got a lot of satisfaction out of having seemingly killed again. The day after the murder of Modell, Von would tweet that him and T-Roy have a problem, and that they can't stop doing their thingy thing. Von would tweet that the streets are in trouble when he's coming, and he would brush off the cops' attempts to arrest him. In fact, only 2 days...
Man, this is the day of, too. That's crazy.
After the killing, he would get into an argument with a well-known Tuckerville GD known as Wooski on Twitter. Wooski had inferred that he had been out looking to catch Von that day, asking him where they were at, with Von leaving a heartless reply saying that he was getting t-shirts made for Modell's funeral. Unsurprisingly, Von would find himself on the radar of the police following the murder of Modell, getting picked up for unlawful possession of a firearm and being questioned in October 2012, with Von later tweeting that the cops grabbed him and warned him to be careful. Apparently the cops even told Von that when they question their ops, they all talk about him and T-Roy, suggesting that their names are feared in the streets. Von would even tweet after that his own mother was beginning to hear the rumours about his violent behaviour in the streets, and she was trying to put him on punishment. But Von wasn't deterred, and he kept using Twitter to increase his reputation as a killer. The following month, Von would be sending unprovoked Twitter ats at Wooski, asking if he knew who killed Modell, provoking responses from numerous ops who wanted to see Von dead, including Wooski and KI.
He said, you know who made Jaja Gang Modell World Crack Crew? I'm gonna hit your line when I get in the hood. Damn.
And to me, this is where we see King Von really beginning to take pleasure in killing. For years to come, he would tweet mocking Modell, saying it's messed up what happened to him, and that he's a straight sucker. It's this sort of behavior where I believe that Von crosses the line from a normal gangbanger killing to survive to a full-blown serial killer who is taking the lives of others systemically for his own personal gratification. At this point, Von has already satisfied the conditions of being a serial killer, having allegedly killed more than 3 people in different locations with large periods of time in between the killings. And his tweets express a clear tendency to take pleasure in killing and a desire to show the world what he's doing. In a way, King Von's purpose in life at this point in time wasn't just revenge and murder for sport. It was about doing these crimes and giving the world clues about what he had done. And as the story goes on, you'll see King Von constantly hint towards his crimes on social media, in his music, and even on television. But now, the pattern had emerged, and Von clearly had a thirst for blood. He was becoming a talented shooter and not facing any consequences for these crimes. And so, in the coming months, Von would be rumoured to have been connected to at least 3 more murders, with the police only catching up to him when it was too late. In late 2012, Von was earning a reputation as a feared shooter in the Chicago gang wars, something he would be more than happy to broadcast to the world. Von would be seen in clips posted to social media, sliding in cars with his partner in crime T-Roy and others, throwing up gang signs and saying that they're smoking Tuka.
Yeah. Yeah. Look.
Shadell. Zico. Both of the Shadells.
And he'd be seen with his boys mobbing deep in trap houses.
What's up?
Nigga said, yeah.
Okay.
And Von would even broadcast his activities rolling with the gang to the local store. Von was surprisingly open about his gangbanging life on social media, and he would be particularly active on Twitter during these violent months. He would tweet openly that he was planning to shoot at random people in traffic. He would tweet that he is STLK, or a St. Lawrence Killer, and interestingly, around these times, on the 18th of October 2012, O-Block native Chief Keef would release his hit song Love So-So, a legendary Chicago drill anthem with lyrics about killing people for disrespecting O-Block. At this point in 2012, Chief Keef had become a global rap star off the back of his single I Don't Like, which was given an all-star remix by Kanye West, and ended up landing at number 73 on the Billboard charts. That song had lyrics about the gang wars in Chicago and lives being lost. And Chief Keef's music...
And Chad, this is where everything turned around, because everybody knows that changed the whole generation of an era. We ain't gonna say too much though. I don't even want to get on that, you feel me? But
was becoming legendary for painting a picture of reality on Chicago's most dangerous block. Of course, who could forget Chief Keef's classic anthem 300, a song with lines all about the young'uns on his block gunning people down, and a track that made it famous to diss Tuka, with Black Disciple rappers beginning a trend of saying that they're smoking on Tuka, a sign of disrespect to Shondale Gregory, who had been killed in 2011. Now, King Von himself had an interesting relationship with Chief Keef's music. Von would tweet that him and T-Roy are the real-life people who these rappers are making their songs about. Von seemed proud of his career as a real gangster, the true story behind Chicago drill music. In fact, it seemed from his tweets that he took great pride in this. He would regularly quote lyrics from drill songs by Chief Keef and others, and he would continue with tweets expressing his intentions to shoot up the ops. In one, he says he just got a new gun and can't wait to use it, and he even claimed in one tweet to have shot a woman by mistake trying to shoot at a man, ending the tweet saying, "I don't care, same thing to me." It seems that Von really had to tweet pretty much any street activity that he was involved in during this time. He would tweet that he hasn't touched or seen a revolver in a while, and on October the 29th, Von would tweet saying that he was avoiding T-Roy because he was winning, presumably referring to T-Roy having a superior kill counter. So Von would tweet literally saying that he was trying to catch up with T-Roy's kill counter, saying give me until Friday. And just the day after this tweet, he would find what he was looking for. On October the 30th, Von would tweet that it's his main man T-Roy's birthday. And later that day, Von tweeted that he was drilling like OD. At 8:45 AM, Von tweeted, "Check the stats," a reference to who has the most bodies in the ongoing gang war. According to the police, less than 30 minutes after this tweet was made, at around 9:13 AM, P5, aka Crack, real name Derek Johnson, would be shot multiple times in the 6200 block of South.
Yo, Chad, this nigga was on some shit. What?
Minutes after this tweet was made, at around 9:13 AM, P5, aka Crack, real name Derek Johnson, would be shot multiple times in the 6200 block of South Eberhart Avenue. The 23-year-old was rushed to the hospital, but pronounced dead at 9:54 AM. The incident report would record the time of the shooting as 9:13 AM. in the Chicago time zone, which on Twitter for me would display as 3:13 p.m. That means that just 3 minutes before the recorded time of the shooting, Von tweeted, laughing my ass off. Then at 9:13, the time that the police estimated the shooting took place, Von tweets his 45 makes his ass do 40 flips. And then only a few hours after this early morning murder, just after noon, Von would tweet the early bird catches the worm, and then going on to tweet about ops making the news, saying that he does his thingy thang for real, saying that he erases people like he drew them, and tweeting that his ops aren't trying to win like he is, and saying that he is doing this for OD, Platoon, Sheroid, and White White. Von would claim to be finding a lot of things funny that evening, once again tweeting numerous times that his 40 made someone do 40 flips. As the days went by, Von's tweets would get even more bold. Just the day after the murder, he would tweet pondering whether he was messed up in the head and indicating that he thinks he's gone crazy. Things would get even more incriminating just 2 days later when Von put out a tweet reading, "Damn, Modell got killed in October. And Crack, who's gonna get killed in November? Stay tuned." And he would tweet RIP Crack and Modell, as well as tweeting asking when the funeral is. Von would even reply to KI and Wooski, who tweeted each other about going to a funeral, with Von saying that he was on his way too, and even offering them a ride. Von also tweeted at Wooski asking if he knows who made Modell World or Crack Crew, another reference to crews renaming themselves after a fallen member who's passed away. Now at this point, Von is establishing a clear pattern, getting the location of his targets, shooting them dead, and then celebrating publicly on Twitter. And within only a few weeks of the P5 incident, yet another high-profile murder would take place, with Von's involvement having been debatable, but his Twitter account telling a very different story.
No, that's crazy.
In November 2012, King Von would be tweeting openly about killing. He'd say that he was the go-to guy for hits in his area. He'd also say that he was the captain of the drill team, tweeting about murder and homicide, saying that he's a hitter by himself, and that the whole of O-Block are coming for their ops. He would even tweet that he was sacrificing people, as well as bizarre tweets about how much he liked cereal, something that I personally believe was a coded message indicating that Von was beginning to see himself as a serial killer. Something that he would continue to do throughout his career. From here,
that might be a stretch, but that is a crazy tweet. Like, Kings won? No fucking way.
Von would continue tweeting about wanting to shoot his ops in the face and get up close and personal, alluding to committing murder and tweeting that he had big balls and does things that other people would only dream of doing. King Von would boldly tweet that he will never get convicted of a murder, saying that he would never set himself up to go down for a body. He would mock his ops, saying some make it out alive and some make it onto the news and die. Also during this time, Von would even react to Barack Obama winning the 2012 election, something ironic considering the fact that Michelle Obama apparently also hailed from O-Block. But even in celebrating this monumental news, Von would also tweet that a black president with ties to his city simply wouldn't stop him from killing his ops. On November the 7th, 2012, Von would tweet about bodies dropping and beating the case. Later that evening, he would tweet that he was out sliding with T. Roy, who he himself would also tweet saying that he's about to go and get his gun, before replying to KI, who...
Yo, this is sick.
Big 32 months with my favorite streamer. Love you, gang. Your fave pilot here.
Love you too, Brody. I appreciate the love. Hold on, let me get some water. This shit is a movie. Hold on. Y'all see me eating my Popeyes while watching this shit? Hold on.
Who had just tweeted a list of a bunch of names of people associated with O-Block who had been killed, with T-Roy retaliating, providing his own list of people from KI's hood who they had apparently killed, as well as tweeting #bang just after midnight. Then, the following morning, the news would report on the shooting of a 17-year-old by the name of Rodney Stewart, aka Boss Trell. Boss Trell had been found with a gunshot wound to the head around 6:50 AM and was immediately rushed to hospital. And he would even remain alive for several hours, during which time he was visited by friends from the neighborhood like FBG Cash, But while Boss Trail was in the hospital fighting for his life, Von and T-Roy would be tweeting. T-Roy tweeted "man down" only hours after the body was discovered, with Von tweeting #TheStruggle, prompting T-Roy to infer that Von was behaving like the police. Von would follow up on this tweet, saying that people aren't dying on time, and T-Roy would also tweet mockingly, saying "no, Trail, stay alive." Then, in since deleted tweets, allegedly by King Von, he would suggest that he had actually spent the day trying to get KI on the phone. However, Boss Trail would be pronounced dead that night at 11:30 PM on the 8th of November 2012. And the following day, King Von would take to Twitter once again to mock Boss Trail. He would tweet that STL doesn't stand for St. Lawrence, but instead for steady taking L's. Another tweet would drop with King Von telling people, "Don't worry about who killed who, just be glad that you didn't get killed and shut up." This was followed by another tweet aimed at Boss Trail, saying "lol, you ain't a boss to me." Many theories suggested that T-Roy and Von, and possibly others, were involved in this murder. Some have said that it was T-Roy, others have said that it's Von, or potentially even the two were involved in this murder. Some have said that it
Depending on OD, I remember people were saying T-Roy and J-Money. I believe it's very possible.
was T-Roy, others...
Hood from Oblock says that King Von had more than 5 bodies and that Boss Trail was his work. Von confirmed, KI, Malcolm P5. Yo, this is just a whole bunch of names.
Said that it's Von, or potentially even the two of them together.
After Boss Trail was shot, T-Roy tweeted, "No, Trail, stay alive. You're not a boss to me, Von Sweet."
But it is worth mentioning that there's an alternative theory that
pictures of Boss Trail, alleged killer who killed him over a gun, was set up by his girlfriend in 2012. Little money from client money.
Boss Trail was actually murdered by someone completely unrelated to this feud, who was apparently trying to retrieve a gun that had been taken from him. But regardless of who was responsible, Von and T-Roy were certainly happy to see Boss Trail gone, and they would continue to tweet boldly about it publicly. Their ops on Twitter would warn T-Roy over the disrespect, but for King Von, tweeting about the murders going on in the streets was a must. Von would post saying that the ops are dying frequently and that he doesn't plan on slowing down. He would say that he will kill an op anywhere, and once again reference cereal, saying that he eats cereal after shooting people. Another hint in the ongoing joke that Von is indeed becoming a serial killer. Von would even mock the ops for having funerals. He simply didn't care what anybody thought. It seemed that Von was hellbent on killing his enemies, and he would be hellbent on tweeting every single time something negative occurred in the streets. However, Von's days would be numbered, and following the next hit that he was implicated in, he would tweet once again, perhaps a little too recklessly this time, finding himself behind bars for over a year. After the deaths of Modell, P5 and Boss Trail, you would think that King Von would have kept a low profile, but no. He would continue to tweet suspiciously while the killing continued. However, when the next person lost their life, King Von's tweets would go to a whole nother level of self-incrimination, and he would actually find himself on the wrong side of the law. On the 19th of November 2012, 32-year-old man named James Holman, aka Lil James, would be standing on his porch on the 6000 block of South Michigan Avenue around 8:20 PM. At this point, 4 people would approach his property, opening fire, shooting him in both the arm and chest, with him being pronounced dead in hospital less than an hour later. Only 23 minutes after this murder, Von would tweet, "Man, not on anything," followed by another tweet reading, "clown ass." Von was mocking somebody, but we didn't know who or what for. Meanwhile, T-Roy would put out a tweet asking if somebody got shot yesterday. And then, only 6 hours after the shooting, Von would tweet that he kills GDs often. And then, in another rare deleted tweet that somebody else from O-Block quote tweeted just 21 minutes later, Von would apparently brag that he has killed 5 GDs and shot 10. With a later news article even confirming that James Holman, the man who was killed most recently, was indeed a gangster disciple. Furthermore, a police report on the Lil James murder would describe the shooters.
For those who say that King Von was mentioned in the Lil James report, it's not true. I'm the one who got the report and put out the rumor in my Von video years ago. I only said the description in the report matched Von's description in the Malcolm report.
Height and build, which apparently matched Von's description. Now, Von tweeting that he had killed 5 GDs after the death of Lil James is particularly interesting, because there's always been a lot of speculation on exactly how many people Von had killed and who specifically he was responsible for killing. And at this point in time, Von had been associated with 6 murders in total. So, if Von himself is apparently confessing that he has killed 5 people at this point, then it's likely that just one of these murders he had nothing to do with. From here, Von would continue to tweet throughout the day, saying things like,
this nigga is a fad! Yo, chat! This nigga is breaking this shit down!
like "dissing him will get your people killed," and another asking openly who made Crack Block, another reference to the murder of Crack, or P5. Unsurprisingly, the authorities would catch up with Von just 3 days after the murder of Lil James. Perhaps they'd read his tweets. Von's capture would be confirmed by a tweet from his sister from his own Twitter account saying that he would be in jail for Thanksgiving, with Von's charges later being revealed as unlawful possession of a firearm. Numerous mugshots of Von would later circulate online, and Von would end up in jail for over a year, for a period spanning from November 2012 to February 2014. And in the meantime, his mother, sister, and friends would all tweet from his Twitter account calling for Von's freedom and keeping his name alive. However, Von's sister would also tweet that Von told her that when he gets out of jail, he's just planning on killing more people. And ultimately, none of the more serious charges would even stick to Von, and he would eventually end up being released back onto the streets of O-Block, where he would, as expected, immediately get back to doing what he loved, drilling, and then tweeting about it. King Von's sister would announce from his Twitter account on February the 11th, 2014 that he would be home from jail tomorrow, with footage of Von cutting off his ankle monitor and throwing up gang signs circulating online after his release. When he got back out, he would be back on the streets and involving himself in gang politics once again. His first tweet out was dissing the ops, of course. He would also openly wonder where T-Roy went, as apparently his partner in crime had ended up in jail himself during this time. Also upon his release, Von would also tweet at famous names in the Chicago drill scene like Boss Top, Lil Reese, Chief Keef, E-Day, Rondo No. 9, and Capo. He would then go on to diss 2 people that he allegedly killed, Modell and Crack, but at least initially, it didn't appear that Von was able to commit any more acts of violence, because apparently, following his release, he would wind up on house arrest for a short period. But that didn't stop him from posting pictures of himself at home, dissing Tuka with a gun sticking out of his pocket. Pictures of Von with famous BD hitters like T-Roy and
Chief Keef Sosa, free folks now. Damn.
D Rose would circulate around this time, with the likes of Chief Keef even reposting them as a sign of respect for the most feared local shooters, with Von also sharing pictures of his crew to Twitter openly, with the caption simply
Chad, this nigga looks like somebody. I just can't put my name on it. I don't know who this nigga look like, but he look like somebody. I just can't put my name on it. You. Okay.
Reading gang members. Von would also tweet about it being a very scary year for the ops, even tweeting disrespectful collages featuring photographs of rivals who had been killed recently. Von didn't care one bit what he was posting on Twitter, and honestly, it didn't seem like the police cared either. Von tweeted openly that he will kill someone on St. Lawrence, promising to shoot ops in the face and kill them fast, dropping mocking tweets about people he had allegedly killed like Modell. He would pledge to drop even more bodies, even tweeting that he was shooting as soon as he got off house arrest, and tweeting that he just got a new...
On BD, if I don't get no pussy tonight, somebody getting smoked my first day off house arrest. Motherfuckers better pray I get some ass. Nah, Chad, this nigga's a troll. Chad, this nigga is a troll. Chad, this nigga is a troll.
New gun, and he wanted to do a drive-by with it. Now, on March the 25th, 2014, GD rapper Lil Mark, associated with a crew called 051, would drop a song called No Competition. This would be a remix of Black Disciple rappers Lil Durk and Lil Reese's 2013 song Competition. Lil Mark would essentially use Lil Durk's beat to diss him and his OTF crew from Lamron. But it wasn't just Durk that was getting dissed. Lil Mark would diss numerous people associated with the Black Disciples, including people from both O-Block and an affiliated crew of BDs known as 600. Lil Mark's song would mock OD Perry and J Money, and see him rapping openly that he is a Black Disciple killer, as well as proudly repping his affiliations to his gang set 051 Young Money. This song made Lil Mark a huge target for both O-Block and 600. And around this period, King Von would frequently tweet that he was in traffic, riding around the city, armed and looking for ops to kill. On March the 28th, 2014, Von would tweet that he was in traffic, tagging D Rose, an infamous shooter from the O-Block affiliated set 600.
My homie, what'd he say? My homie D Rose back down, little hoe.
Traffic, tagging D Rose, an infamous shooter from the O-Block affiliated set 600, with D Rose himself tweeting that the cops hate to see Von, T-Roy, and him all together. Von would tweet gunshot emojis around 10 AM on the 28th of March 2014. And only a few hours later, that very same day, around 1:30 PM, it's believed that a large group of gang members were riding around in a silver minivan with Florida license plates, most likely a stolen car. Meanwhile, a 20-year-old Mark Campbell, aka Lil Mark, was at a bus stop on the 300 block of East.
I don't think that's Von's work though. I ain't gonna lie. D-Rose scares me though, because D-Rose was at the scene like 5 minutes afterwards. Like, damn, what happened? Like, he was trolling. Like, I ain't gonna lie.
Tree. It's believed that that minivan pulled up and a masked man jumped out, shooting Lil Mark in the head, with Mark ultimately being pronounced dead at the scene only minutes later at 1:41 PM, and that minivan connected to the shooting being found in flames at 6:30 PM that very night. It's widely believed that D-Rose was the shooter, with King Von being present for this murder. D-Rose even posted a clip to social media of him and his friends returning to the scene.
Chat, on God, I remember this clip. I seen this shit on my Instagram. Nigga, D-Rose like, damn, what happened to folks? Like, he was in that bitch trolling. Like, man down, man down. He was in that bitch trolling. I was like, nigga, I ain't gonna lie. When I first saw the video on my Instagram, I thought it was D-Rose. Nigga, I'm like, bro, how does this? Bro, you're not showing up to a crime scene talking about some damn man down, and knowing who it is. Like, come on, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's just not, I don't know, like.
30 PM that very night. It's widely believed that D-Rose was the shooter, with King Von being present for this murder. D-Rose even posted a clip to social media of him and his friends returning to the scene of the crime and filming, where King Von can allegedly be heard in the background of the car.
Hey, it's a 251st!
Damn, body down.
Oh, not go see the bro. Tweaking, bro.
Body down, 51st. Gang.
D-Rose would tweet, call them, never heard of them, with a laughing face just 36 minutes after the killing. King Von would tweet, just 42 minutes after the shooting, die why, with a bunch of laughing faces, with this being a sign of disrespect to Lil Mark's gang 051 Young Money. That tweet was then followed by Von saying 051 better keep their head up, with a bunch of laughing emojis. Then he says he lives for this, F the ops. And just in case there was any doubt about King Von being present for that murder, he would also reply to somebody on Twitter discussing Lil Mark, saying outright he just saw the murder, with King Von going on to tweet at Twitter.
Damn, Lil Mark. That blank Lil Mark. You saw my text on the E-boy? I just saw it, bro.
Discussing Lil Mark, saying outright he just saw the murder, with King Von going on to tweet at other O-Block affiliates that they would be celebrating that night. Von was speaking so recklessly on Twitter, his sister would even tell him to go in the house, with the defiant Von replying to her with gunshot and demon emojis, then tweeting that Lil Mark's death was getting him attention from women, even going as far to say that Lil Mark's pregnant girlfriend might have cheated on him. Followed by another tweet a few days later where Von claimed that he leaves people dead at the bus stop just like Tuka. A tweet that's even more disrespectful when you learn that Lil Mark...
Penguin 6 is young. Damn, I miss my little brother. I miss hearing his voice. It's not a thing about you. I don't miss baby boy every day. I'm about...
was actually Tuka's older brother. D-Rose would also tweet the day after the murder, saying you ain't gotta ask who shot him, indicating that he was indeed the shooter of Lil Mark, as well as proudly saying that he was smoking on Marco. But Von and D-Rose weren't the only ones celebrating the death of Lil Mark, because Lil Durk, the original subject of Lil Mark's diss song No Competition, released just 3 days before he was killed, would end up making a trip to the very bus stop where Mark was gunned down, with Durk telling his followers that this was a very special place.
Hey, this bus stop right here though, this is a real famous place, you hear me? This is a real famous place, big. Hey, this bus stop, this is a real famous place, big. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Because of all of the attention from rappers about this incident, Lil Mark's death became news beyond the local Chicago papers, with this killing taking place during the heyday of DJ Academic's War in Chiraq series, where Academics would report satirically on the Chicago drill scene and the shocking crimes going on within it. King Von himself would even go on to rap about killing people at bus stops many years later, as well as on the...
Wait, what'd he say? Caught that boy right by that bus. This is his last stop.
King Von himself would even go on to rap about killing people at bus stops many years later, as well...
Your homie died, I'm smoking that, I'm tired of smelling blank and blank, I'm tired of...
...as on the song Exposing Me, where he says that he is smoking Lil Mark and Tuka. And Lil Durk would go on to do the same thing, rapping in the December 2014 track War with E-Day 600, also saying that he is smoking Lil Mark and Tuka. Now, it's never been definitively confirmed who killed Lil Mark, but it's widely believed that the two most likely hitters are D-Rose or King Von. But whether or not King Von actually did it, he clearly got a lot of gratification from just witnessing this murder, further fueling this strange bloodlust that he was cultivating around this time.
I think Von was
involved. If he wasn't the one
involved.
killing, then he would at least want a front row seat and an opportunity to tweet about it. However, it would be the
D-Rose,
next murder
100%.
that would seemingly be Von's most proud moment in the streets, as he would end up finally catching somebody who he had wanted to get for years, leaving clues on Twitter all the way up to the killing And then, in an insanely twisted turn, not only would Von get away with the murder, but he would go on to appear in a documentary interview about the victim without anybody even working out that the killer that they were looking for was sitting right in front of the camera.
Huh?
17-year-old gangster disciple Jakira Barnes, aka K.I., was a legendary figure in Chicago gang history, with the Chicago Sun-Times describing her in a prominent feature as a prolific female assassin in the Chicago gang war. K.I. has been described as the real-life Snoop from The Wire, a reference to the masculine female killer from HBO's crime drama. K.I. herself had been close with Tuka growing up, and her rumoured involvement in the killing of O.D. Perry in retaliation would make her feud with O-Block deeply personal. No doubt, King Von was obsessed with K.I. Von and K.I. would have extensive back and forths on Twitter, with it being unclear whether he was trying to date her or kill her. Their first interaction occurred on September the 25th, 2012, when Von would tweet claiming to have beaten up an op girl on the train, with K.I. replying to this saying their arm, ear and face were injured, but she's not bothered because her gun will put a hole in her ops faces, with the tweet the following day indicating that she had perhaps shot at Von or somebody that he knows. They would go on to have a back and forth, with Von asking K.I.
You a gangster or a killer, Kyra? Make your mind up. I'm a real G on Shondale, ain't no bitch in me, but you know that.
She's a gangster or a bitch, with K.I. indicating that she is indeed a real gangster. Von would go on to reply to her posts shouting out her gang, asking her why he never sees her when he spins the block, with K.I. replying that Von can die just like White White, with Von saying she better kill him because he will kill her and she doesn't have the good aim like he does. That same day, K.I. would tell her followers to retweet if they think she looks good. King Von retweeted it. K.I. would tweet saying that she'd beaten up someone from O-Block and that they should go and tell Von that she is tough. This would prompt a reply from Von, where he would say he can tell that she's tough, and jokingly asking her if she's looking for a boyfriend, as well as expressing doubt that she had even beat up his friend, with her replying saying she'd caught an O-Block member on the train who had denied being from there when beaten up, with King Von's sister chiming in claiming to have been there too, and K.I. saying that her victim didn't.
Wait, what did King say? I told him not to say where he was from and he wasn't scared, Kyra, and you didn't beat him. Everybody know you ain't no lane. Damn.
Von's sister chiming in claiming to have been there too, and K.I. saying that her victim didn't even punch her back. All this provoked a sarcastic reply from Von, where he said that he thinks he was falling in love with this fighting female. Von would later post tweets where he said that he's going to treat her right if she becomes his wifey, and later beginning to regularly refer to her as wifey. When K.I. replied to Von, Von would say that he has her on his mind a lot and that he misses her, even telling his sister that he wanted to marry K.I. Now, many years later, somebody on 4chan would claim to have hacked K.I.'s private DM.
What up? I'm trying to change you up. I'm trying to change you, upgrade you. I want to nail something. What up?
DMs on Twitter, and revealing that around this time, Von had DM'd K.I. asking her if she wanted to hook up, or more specifically saying he wants to nail her. She would reply saying she's not interested, to which Von replies, when all of this is over, he will have her. More alleged tweets would see K.I. asking Von straight up if O-Block are plotting to kill her, to which Von replies, he's not gonna lie, there are people looking.
Hell no, but this little nigga say, y'all ain't no way plotting on me, saying y'all gonna kill me. On BD, I ain't gonna lie, motherfuckers is on that, but I don't even think I could kill you. You seem cool as hell.
To kill her. But Von would say he doesn't think he can kill her because he thinks she seems cool as hell, even having the nerve to ask her when she's going to stop gangbanging. K.I. would reply saying she's not going to stop, calling King Von a goofy and asking him when he's going to stop. Von would laugh and tell her that he's gangbanging.
Nah, niggas hacked to get this? Nah, these niggas is sad, bro. Let my ass up on BD. I ain't trying to go on you. I'm just asking and I don't even know. Probably just have to done this shit because I don't like losing or quitting and I love my
dies, and that he will never lose or quit. With K.I. ultimately agreeing with this and saying that she's planning the same thing, before mocking Von, saying he must feel really threatened by her, and questioning if he really thinks they can kill her. Von replies saying that they're trying to kill anyone, they're not just desperate for her specifically, before revealing,
look, I ain't trying to tick with you, why you wanna get tweaking? And nah, we just be trying to get whoever, it ain't like we thirsty to get you. But I had that 9 on me when I saw you that day. I was on the bike and tired.
He had apparently had his gun on him when he beat
Wait, I was on the bike and tried. But I had the 9 on me when I saw you that day. I was on the bike and tried. My fault, chat. Hold on, let me end definition.
He didn't kill her because the police were there, along with a woman from his block. With Von saying that if he really wanted to kill her, he would have took his chances and shot her in the train or the street. In response to this, K.I. would reply, "Come and get it," because she's ready to go to war with anyone, with Von clapping back, questioning why she takes things so seriously. After this alleged private exchange, Von would reply to a public tweet of hers dissing O.D. Perry, and reminding her that he beat her up, even saying that he wishes he'd spat on her afterwards. Now, Von began to use K.I. pretty much for entertainment, beefing her on Twitter whenever he was bored, but K.I. would be looking for Von in real life, however. Von would tweet that he has his ops scared at the corner store, and K.I. would reply saying that she's on the way looking for him. Also tweeting asking where he is, with Von replying sarcastically telling her to be safe in the streets. More alleged leaked DMs between K.I. and Von would emerge, with K.I. asking Von where he was, with the two of them seemingly arranging a shootout, with K.I. even asking if T-Roy can come too. K.I. later claimed to have walked through O-Block and not seen a soul, with Von saying that they're too busy to have a shootout right now. Von would later allegedly DM K.I., telling her to call him when she's ready to put a dress on and let her hair down. They'd keep going back and forth on Twitter publicly, building up this insane public history. K.I. tweeted that she was going to the store, and Von would warn her not to. Von would tweet reminding her that he had beaten her up on the train, with her saying that he's been hiding ever since. Von would clap back, asking when she's coming back to his block for a date, and K.I. would then remind Von of all the times that people from her side had beaten him up. Other O-Block members would tweet their intentions to kill K.I. too, and she would tweet that she wants to see King Von face to face, and Von would reply, she really doesn't. One tweet would see Von say that he'd spent all day trying to get K.I. on the phone, and that her voice sounded sexy. Even after Von went to jail in 2013, Von's sister would tweet at K.I., saying that Von had asked her to go and visit him in jail, with Von's sister later suggesting that she had even had a fistfight with K.I., and saying that she will see her on 63rd, perhaps for another fight. When Von was released from jail in 2014, he would tweet at K.I. and ask if she missed him, with her replying, asking when they're meeting up, and adding 4 gun emojis, with Von expressing disappointment that K.I. didn't come and see him in jail.
I ain't gonna lie, bro, this shit is just so fucking like, yo, this shit is making me lost. Like, Jay, yo, are y'all fake like lost on some shit? Nigga, I'm fake lost. Like, what the fuck? Nigga, this shit is like, what the fuck? This shit is making a nigga think on some shit like, what the fuck?
Jail like he'd asked. Now, bear in mind, tweeting at K.I. was one of the first things that Von did upon getting out of jail. He tweeted her twice before he had tweeted at Chief Keef or any of his actual friends from O-Block. He was obsessed, but K.I. would continue to mock Von, asking him how it felt for his friends to die while he was in jail, even retweeting Von's own tweet, saying "Rest in peace J Money," and going on to insult him in a tweet of her own. This was a reference to Von's friend J Money. Rest in peace J Money.
What'd she say after? If I could dig J Money up and shoot his ass again. Oh, nah.
To insult him in a tweet of her own. This was a reference to Von's friend J Money from O-Block, who had been killed in September 2013 whilst he was in jail, with Von retaliating, saying "rest in piss" to Crack and Modell, with Von even later tweeting that he can't be mad at women unless they're ops, in which case they can die. And another tweet saying how desperate he was to catch a female op. Von and K.I. would tweet at each other much less in 2014, perhaps because Von was looking to reduce the paper trail leading to him if K.I. wound up dead. But in the days following Little Mark's death in April 2014, Von would release some brazen tweets. On the 1st of April, he would tell a friend that he would never start rapping and that he prefers killing ops, and tweeting that he had bodies on his gun. On the 6th of April, K.I. would tweet saying, "People won't get the picture until you put them in the frame," along with a gun emoji. God. That same day, Von would tweet saying, "If you're not where I'm from, you will get killed." That was followed the next day by Von tweeting that he was always looking for a woman and he can't find her, and saying he will stop looking and let her look for him. He would then go on to tweet on the 10th of April that there's some women he would do anything for, telling her to just hit his line. That would be followed by another tweet saying if a girl leaves him, then she's leaving the best, with it unclear if he's talking about her leaving him or her leaving this earth. That was followed by more tweets where Von would say if a girl is with the ops, then she's getting shot, and that he's not playing with op girls this summer and they should watch out. In the early hours of the next morning, K.I. would make the ominous tweet, "In the end, we die," as well as tweeting her apparent location just off 63rd. And later that afternoon, K.I. would be
Whoa, the same day? April 11th, 2014.
Her apparent location just off 63rd. And later that afternoon, K.I. would be standing on a nearby porch in the 6400 block of South Eberhart Avenue, only a 3-minute walk towards O-Block from the location that she had tweeted she was at earlier that day. And that was the day that King Von would allegedly find that woman that he had been looking for all this time, as K.I. would indeed be gunned down on April the 11th, 2014.
April 14.
The murder report on K.I.'s death would feature a witness describing the shooter who hopped out of a car, catching KI and another man who were about to shoot dice. They would run into a gangway, but the shooter kept firing, apparently even...
The subjects were getting ready to shoot dice when the offender turned the corner of 65th and Eberhart and ran northbound yelling, "Yeah, bitch ass niggas," and started shooting a handgun. Related that he ran on northbound blank and then eastbound through the gangway and was struck by gunfire in the right knee. He received assistance from an older male black subject who drove to him to the residential area.
And shouting, "Yeah, bitch ass N-words," as he fired the handgun at KI multiple times. She would be shot 9 times and declared dead just 2 hours later.
For Chantel Brown, the statistics are more than just numbers. Within 12 short hours across Chicago, 14 people were wounded, 2 people killed, one of them being Brown's oldest child.
I'm just gonna miss her presence. She was a very, very beautiful, well-known, lovely girl.
17-year-old Jakira Barnes
R.I.P. Chad.
Loved basketball, her friends, and being with family. It's still under investigation what exactly happened Friday afternoon in the 6400 block of South Eberhart, but neighbors say Barnes and a friend were walking along the sidewalk when a gunman started firing.
When the bullet hit her, it was so powerful she fell on the step.
Residents who do not want to be identified say Barnes fought to live, but had been shot at least 9 times.
In the jaw, in the neck, and in the chest, and in the leg.
Damn, she got shot 9 times?
9 times, they said.
Barnes was transported to Northwestern where she died, and tragically for this neighborhood, it wasn't the first child lost to gunfire.
And Vaughn would go on to tweet just hours after KI was pronounced dead, saying that he loves his gang and they love him, before tweeting, mad that nobody misses him. And this was followed by people confirming that KI had been killed. O-Block veteran Jay Hood would reveal in a Cam Capone interview many years later that Vaughn came back to O-Block and told him what he'd done immediately after the murder.
But he literally say just like this, I'm looking straight, he meant why I just run up on KI and why I just ran up on them and caught KI. She was the last one running out of the gate. I was like, no way.
The day after the hit, Black Disciple rapper Lil Reese would tweet Vaughn's catchphrase saying that he does his thing.
Yeah, I'm BD, I do my thing. Damn.
Seemingly a congratulatory post to Vaughn, who replied saying, "You gots to." Vaughn would later tweet that he needs a real bitch, and over the next few days, he would once again deliver a flurry of activity on Twitter, tweeting that his ops don't scare him, and that the whole gang war is funny to him. He would say that he's lost a lot of friends, so his enemies must die in retaliation. Vaughn would also tweet saying that people wouldn't believe the things that he does in the streets, and saying that he will never tell. Vaughn would even copy KI's earlier tweet from the week before her murder, about people not getting the...
I guess you niggas won't get the picture until one of y'all get put in the frame. I see motherfuckers ain't get the picture until they get put in the frame. Oh, nah. This is only a week after. Nah, this is some demonic shit.
Picture until you put them in the frame, as well as tweeting at her, saying he misses his old girl. Vaughn was clearly in a celebratory mood following the murder of KI, and he would go on to make post after post referencing the ongoing gang war, posting tributes to T. Roy, telling his incarcerated friend that he was going crazy on the streets while he was locked up. Vaughn was seemingly proud of himself for all he was achieving in the streets at this point. He would seemingly update his body count to 6, openly tweeting,
"Homicide in the air smell like a graveyard. Niggas extinct for trying to play hard."
Homicide in the air, and that he made 6 people extinct for playing hard. Vaughn would even post his own mugshot, saying they should have never freed him because he's a menace. He tweeted that he put people's brains in their lap, and asked his followers if they would still be there for him when he gets 100 years in jail.
Is he, wait, what is it?
And asked his...
Is he still gonna fuck with me when they give me 100 years? He wasn't even there when I had to do 15 months. Gotta quit fucking with you.
Followers if they would still be there for him when he gets 100 years in jail. Vaughn would suggest that he is only competing in kill counts with T. Roy, suggesting that those two were the most deadly people in the streets at this time. And he would claim to wake up in the morning thinking of nothing but killing people. Other rappers and well-known figures around Chicago drill would continue to tweet...
Nah, that nigga really loved T. Roy. Yo, Chad, that nigga really loved T. Roy. Yo, Najee, what's the word?
Wazid Wrath.
Congratulating King Von after this murder. People like Lil Reese, Boss Top, and Von would...
Wait. What you saying? Shout out my broski King Von, real life savage. Lil Cuddy King Von from the Wicks They both tweeted an hour apart from each other. Oh, no, this is 3 days. Shout out my bros, King Von, Real Life Savage, Lil Cuddy, King Von from the Wick, Savage, be turned the shit.
To tweet congratulating King Von after this murder. People like Lil Reese and Boss Top. And Von would also tweet on April the 28th that there's only 2 places for a man like him, presumably jail or hell. Clearly, he must have had an inkling, as he would end up being picked up in connection to the murder the following day, on the 29th of April. But Von would never be formally charged with K.I.'s murder. He would deny even knowing her and would initially...
Bennett related that he was not involved in the homicide and has no knowledge of what had occurred. Bennett related that he does not know the victim and has not seen her before. Bennett stated that he does not go in the area of 65th and Everhart when confronted with the fact that he was arrested within a short distance of 65th and Everhart. Bennett still continued to deny involvement. Davon Bennett agreed to do a polygraph examination. Bennett was given food to eat and water to drink and was allowed to use the bathroom. Damn. How the fuck? I ain't gonna lie. I don't know.
Do a polygraph test, as well as providing a loose alibi, relying on a woman claiming that she had been with him the entire day of...
Hold on, Detective Lynn, related in essence, but not the day of the homicide. She was with Bennett and he had spent the previous night with her.
The murder. Combine that with the fact that relying on a woman claiming that she had been with him the entire day of the murder. Combine that with the fact that Von had apparently checked in with his parole officer just an hour before the murder worked in his favour, despite the crime scene being only 35 minutes from the parole office, meaning that Von had over 25 minutes spare to get there and kill K.I. immediately after signing in with his PO. As a result of these slick manoeuvres, Von would indeed be released the next day and face no further consequences in this situation. And he would tweet that he beat that case like Rocky and that he was in a good mood.
I just came from under that hole like Rocky. Free the guys. DM y'all number if you want to holler at me. I love everybody except the ops.
Showing love to everyone but the ops. That was followed by him tweeting laughing faces and saying that he was grateful to be free and that he's too real. A few days later, Von would be tweeting that he beats bodies and that he doesn't plan on going to prison, as well as seemingly referencing K.I.'s resemblance to Snoop from The Wire and calling her a dead...
And who is Snoop? Because I want to get real disrespectful if it's a dead op.
Years later, Von would even go on to brag about killing K.I. on songs after he started rapping, famously saying on the track
Tiger, like Snoop off The Wire. Oh my god.
War With Us that he put a pretty op bitch in the morgue, you can call her drop dead gorgeous, as well as saying that he keeps a strap like K.I. on the song GTA.
Wait. Von dog shit like K9 and he keep a strap like K.I. And he shoot shit from the 3 like AI.
For years following this murder, people, including myself, speculated on whether King Von had killed K.I., or whether it was the work of fellow O-Block hitter Big A, who reportedly went by the nickname ASCII, or Ask K.I., after her death, suggesting that he had something to do with her killing. But in lyrics to King Von's leaked song Wait, he seemingly rapped about the day that he caught K.I., with lyrics a lot of people believe would allude to Von jumping out of the car and chasing K.I. down the alley, with Big A being the driver.
I was running with Big A. We was cruising down the tray. I hit the alley, told bro, wait. You know King Von do his thing. I hopped out, no, I don't play. I was riding with Big A. We was cruising down the tray. I hit the alley, told bro, wait. Nah. I ain't gonna lie to you. This
Von would also rap on the song Cousins that he kills women and men and can't tell the difference. But it wasn't just Von. Lil Durk would also rap in December of 2014, the year that K.I. was killed, on the song War with E-Day, seemingly suggesting that he had owned a gun that was used in K.I.'s murder. Now, rapping about someone that you killed is one thing, but King Von actually went on to do one of the most psychopathic things I have ever seen. Because on May the 23rd, 2019, a documentary about K.I. would air on A&E titled Secret Life of a Gang Girl. This piece goes in depth into the life of K.I., exploring her motivations to become a gang member.
What the fuck? I've never seen that documentary a day in my life.
As well as interviewing some of the people that knew her during this time. And that documentary about K.I. would interview none other than King Von, who was featured prominently in the documentary. And if you ask me, he was just straight up trolling the TV crew, who clearly hadn't done their homework.
What the fuck? Where's that documentary at?
He was just straight up than King Von, who was featured prominently in the documentary, and if you ask me, he was just straight up trolling the TV crew, who clearly hadn't done their homework. Von would appear in the show, portraying himself as having been an infatuated admirer, pursuing K.I. for nothing but romantic
Yeah, she's cool as hell. I was trying to fuck her. Yeah, I was trying to fuck her and shit.
reasons. And the fact that the film crew didn't even have an inkling that Von was responsible is just crazy to me. And it's not like the info that he killed K.I. wasn't already circulating out there at this point. Because while Von is in jail for his next murder in 2016, word of his story as a shooter in the Chicago gang war would spread on the edgy message board 4chan, where a gang-obsessed 4chan member would claim to have accessed KI's private DMs, exposing those private messages which we already saw between King Von and KI all the way back in 2012, with this deranged 4chan user even replying to friends of KI from her account who had continued to DM her after her death looking for closure, with that 4chan hacker writing a lengthy post claiming to have been told by a friend of KI's in the DMs that they believed King Von was her killer.
What? You might be asking me, oh, how you know who killed her? Well, rumors started going around about who all killed her. Many people first thought it was to be T-Roy, but he was in jail at the time of her death. I forget if anyone knew. It was her friends and people in her neighborhood. I hacked her Twitter page a few months ago, like in February. I was going to leave her page after I seen those DMs to King Von, but then I got choked up when I seen her friend saying, I wish she could reply back. That shit just hurt my soul, so I said, I'd just say something and then leave forever. But then I thought I'd never get her friend password to her Twitter since she didn't know it. After I did that, I asked her if I could ask her a question. She said, as long as you're not disrespectful. And I said, who do you think killed her? She said, I don't feel comfortable asking. And I told her I was going to log out. And she said, King Von did it. And I logged out, and that was that. Her friend locked her page, I'm guessing because she think I can't hack it again. Was mad interesting to me at first, but sitting on this story for a few months now.
Bear in mind, this information was floating around all the way back in 2016, 2 years after the murder and 3 years before the documentary. However, eventually, a whole year after Von's death, in 2021, the Chicago police would release documents revealing that they believed King Von himself to be KI's killer, with apparently multiple witnesses pinning Von as the shooter, but unfortunately, the state decided not to prosecute, stating that the case simply wouldn't meet the burden of proof to secure a conviction. So, King Von would be released back on the streets after having allegedly killed the girl he had seemingly spent years hunting down. But only a month and a half later, Von would go on to catch yet another murder, which would finally land him in jail, and just briefly putting a stop to his serialized killings.
Man, what?
After being questioned about the KI murder and being released with no consequences, King Von felt invincible. The month is May 2014, and Von had seemingly killed a total of 6 people at this point. As usual, he'd be on Twitter non-stop, hinting at his actions in the streets, asking God for forgiveness for killing his ops, and saying that he shoots first and asks questions later. He would tweet that he's in a different league when it comes to killing, and others need to catch up, and telling the world that he's always armed and ready for his ops. Clearly Von was active in the streets, as well as on Twitter, claiming to be driving through his ops area literally as he was tweeting, and saying that he hasn't
This nigga King Von must have been just the ultimate guru, bro, because nigga was never lacking, like...
Trigger finger. Von would claim that anybody can get smoked for the right price or cause, warning his ops not to come near him or he will shoot. Von would claim to never be putting his gun down because too many people have died in the gang war, taunting his ops, saying he knows that they want him, but it's not his time to die. Von would even repost a viral clip from Worldstar titled When Keeping It Real Goes Wrong, a video apparently showing a group of people filming themselves going to Chief Keef's neighborhood and getting shot at. A clip that people would later claim was actually King Von doing the shooting. I mean, just imagine having the balls to shoot at people and then retweet the Worldstar video of you shooting at them. The same day as this, Von would claim that he's buying guns with 100-round magazines and wondering who he's going to shoot, as well as saying that he'd been gangbanging all day and now he's tired out. The following day, Von would tweet saying that others wouldn't do half of the stuff that he's done and plans to do in the streets, and Von would say that he plans to keep scoring until he wins. Only 2 days after that, Von would find himself attempting to score again. On the 29th of May 2014, an afternoon party would be going on at 5722 South LaSalle Street. Von would attend this party where he spotted 2 members from the rival gang. At this point, the mother of the person whose birthday party it was apparently told Von not to start trouble in her house, with Von saying that he wouldn't and leaving. Von would leave the party and go and get a friend, Big Mike, apparently telling another person who was still at the party on the phone that he was coming back and that they should...
He left the party, grabbed a friend, and told a party goer on the phone that he'd be back. Take the children inside.
Take the children inside. Von and Big Mike would return to that party, parking down the street and approaching a group of 3 men outside the house, opening fire. 3 of those men would be hit by gunshots, whilst Von chased them, allegedly yelling, "Why are you running?" And when the shooting stopped, a 19-year-old man by the name of Malcolm Stuckey would be declared dead with a gunshot wound to the head. The Chicago police would respond to the shooting at 6:10 p.m, arriving on the scene where police were pictured securing the location around Malcolm's body. Apparently Von was really trying to kill 2 rival gang members that he saw at the party, ultimately hitting 3 people for only killing Malcolm, who allegedly wasn't the intended target or even involved in the gang war. Perhaps this is why we never hear King Von in his career disrespecting or saying that he's smoking Malcolm like he did to many of the other people that he was rumoured to have killed. But there would still be hints at his involvement, because while Malcolm had been laying in the street with a bullet in his head for several hours, only 12 minutes before he'd officially be pronounced dead, Von would tweet saying that he has some issues, but he cannot tell a soul about them. Meanwhile, Boss Top from O-Block would tweet that Von is the guy who sits people down if they run up. Now, it would take nearly 2 months for the authorities to connect Von to this murder, and during this time, he would continue to be prolific posting on Twitter. He would tweet that he was on the block with his gun in the early hours of the morning, just the day after the murder of Malcolm, and tweeting that all of the things that people are hearing about are him. He's the one responsible. He would tweet saying that he's killed so many ops that he doesn't have any more feelings. He'd also tweet that it's all fun and games until somebody you know is no longer breathing. And he would tweet saying that he did all of this on parole and just wait until he gets off, with a demon emoji. And in another deleted tweet that was apparently reposted by somebody else, Von openly tweeted saying that he wanted to go on an all-out killing spree. However, King Von's crime spree would ultimately be cut short on prom night of all nights. Von would be pictured holding a gun at O-Block in his suit in the hours before prom, and he would even tweet...
Hold on. This nigga Von had a blank Ruger with 30 in his damn hand taking prom pictures. He's the only motherfucker with us that got a gun on the way to prom.
Von would be pictured holding a gun at O-Block in his suit in the hours before prom, and he would even tweet warning people not to try him while he's dressed in his suit. Von would then end up doing a shooting in his prom suit with witnesses describing his outfit, ultimately leading to his arrest. Von's last tweet would be on June the 7th,
Man, this nigga is crazy.
Loose screws get nailed. He would end up being arrested on firearms charges on prom night, and then the following month, on the 22nd of July 2014, Von's accomplice in the murder of Malcolm Stuckey, Big Mike, ended up getting charged with murder and being taken in for questioning by the police. Then, 2 days later, on July the 24th, 2014, King Von, already in jail, would be charged with 1 count of first-degree murder for the killing of Malcolm Stuckey and 2 counts of attempted murder for the other 2 people shot in that incident. Von's arrest for this crime would attract significant media coverage, and he would remain in jail awaiting trial from June 2014 to December 2017. And during that time, his people would tweet from his Twitter account saying that they missed him, asking for visitors to come see him on his birthday, and posting clips and pictures of him in jail during his visits.
Let's go.
What's up, you miss me, man?
Yes!
You lying.
No, I'm not.
You got the money from mobile?
No, it's still a whole car.
Come out the shirt. I'm flexed up. Holla.
Ugly.
Von was a funny nigga though, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
While Von was in jail, he would raise hell, apparently helping to start a huge fire on the wing in April 2017. He would constantly get into fights with his ops, apparently never turning down confrontations.
That's why I can say Von had over 20 fights in that. He was. He talk about jail. He talk about that shit like it's a rite of passage. Like every was a street like him, he was like jail was coming. Yeah, that's why he was always in that, because he never cared about jail. That's how he was able to be the type of he was in the streets, because some of these savages, like, and you supposed to do with that in the back of your mind, like knowing, like, man, go south, go to jail. Well, shorty sliding up on like the police don't even exist. He just smoke you broad day.
Von would remain in jail for an extended period of time.
Snitching. Nah, I ain't gonna lie, Chad, that's snitching. Chad, that is snitching. Chad, that is snitching. It's funny though, but I mean, he dead, so I can't really, you know what I'm saying? May his soul rest in peace, so it's like...
3.5 years in total, and during his time in jail, he picked up the nickname Grandson, apparently for his resemblance in image as well as temperament to the Black Disciples founder David Barksdale, also known as King David. It's obvious that King Von took a lot of inspiration from the original founder of the gang that he repped, the Black Disciples. Not only going by the name King Von, but also frequently saying David Barksdale's nickname, often ending sentences by saying, "On King David."
On King David.
Also, while Von was in jail awaiting trial, the conflicts in the streets would continue to play out, and Von would eventually get the worst news imaginable. His right-hand man, T. Roy, would be shot and killed in a convenience store on Valentine's Day 2017. Von's people would post Twitter tributes memorializing his friend and favorite shooter, and Von would later open up about the very moment that he got the news about T. Roy's death while he was in jail.
Yeah, R.I.P. T. Roy, man, that was my best friend. I got that nigga on my neck. That's how strong that shit. I got him gang banging on my neck. That's how we was gang banging up.
With Von saying that he completely broke down crying when he found out that his right-hand man T. Roy was gone.
This my dog. Before they kill my dog, I was locked up. Kill me, I broke down. I ain't cried so long. But every day, this my you know, I'm in jail. I'm fighting the murder and shit. I call it every day. It's my right-hand man. So I'm telling him like, all right. Now since he go, we can tell him he getting that. Man, I'm gonna get you out, Von. I'm gonna get you out, man. Whatever I gotta do, I'm gonna get you out. I swear to God. You know, but we in the streets, you know how that shit go. So he trying to hustle, he trying to rob, all type. He doing whatever he can do. I'm gonna get you a lawyer, bro. I got you, you know. He be telling me, give me a shot. I be calling, man. Don't even worry about it, man. Just look, just you make sure you know. I mean, I'm gonna figure this shit out. Just be cool out there. I call folks. It's like. This on like Valentine's Day, you see what I'm saying? I call my mama back. And she crying and shit. Ma, what the f you crying for? You good? You know what I'm saying? She, ooh, they shot T-Roy. T-Roy got, oh, what? Ooh, what? Oh, look at the phone. You know how that shit go, you in jail, you can throw it on, what? Alright. Now we calling around, what's going on? He got hit once, some shit, ooh. Oh, damn. What the f going on out there? T-Roy got shot. Look, this is the thing. Y'all don't know T-Roy. Y'all gotta leave our history of T-Roy. Y'all don't know.
We know.
T-Roy got to go further. That's T-Roy.
We know.
T-Roy, that's T-Roy. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Y'all don't know T-Roy like I know T-Roy. You know what I'm saying? So now y'all get shot on. He don't want to talk me like, don't be lacking. Don't be, you know? He was on me, he used to be on each other, you know what I'm saying? Because me and him, we back to back with my boy, you know what I'm saying? Folks got shot, I said, hold on. I said, the streets, hold on. Who got shot? Who? Nah, he a gangster. He got shot before. He a gangster. They said, folks ain't make it on front of mouth. I play it out, you know me, you gotta play it out. You in jail, that's all type of goof ass around, you know, these 30. All of your business on King David, I walk it off. I'm just walking around in circles on the deck, you know. And they put their arm around me when I'm like, damn, you good, bro? You good? What's wrong with you, Von? Yeah, I'm good. Ooh, what's wrong? You just got a phone, man. I'm good, you know. They what happened? I mean, they just killed T-Roy. Ooh, he what? I'm T-Roy. They just killed T-Roy. Oh, I got to break it down on King David.
Damn.
I couldn't help it. They hugging me. These some real. You know what I'm saying? We grown ass men. Folks grab me to hold me. Get to there, you gonna be alright, shorty. You gonna be alright. Oh, hold on, boy. That's my best friend, boy. Somebody just killed my best friend while I'm in jail. I'm in that gonna go crazy. Oh, I'm in that. Don't know what's going on. I'm in that. In that. Who the f y'all? I'm that mad on. Oh yeah, I'm in that. In that. Nah, not my best friend. You know what I'm saying? I'm in that. In that. If he get got, there ain't a lot of hope for a lot of. Cause he be, y'all know how folks see his man, T-Roy, T-Roy, let me see who, the guys just looking like, ooh, this preaching on, don't trip, you know, y'all know this that street,
damn,
the street watching me like that, about the, I know, yeah, this the street, I better pay attention, I ain't gonna keep doing it. This don't supposed to be for free.
Von would take T-Roy's death very seriously. Even after becoming a famous rapper, he would threaten to kill trolls who would DM him mocking T-Roy on his birthday.
Fuck how you feel? You a shorty on I kill.
He said, fuck how you feel for my best friend got killed. You born immature, Scoopy. It's cause I like your music, but you just want immature ass nigga. He said, fuck you and everybody Daddy, you know I'm a gangster. Nah, this is street nigga in jail, bro. You know.
Who would DM him mocking T-Roy on his birthday.
Fuck how you feel? You a shorty on, I'll kill you. Yo ass a little boy, I'll choke you out my motherfucking hands and beat the shit out you. Internet shit fool you, boy. I'll drop my motherfucking location on you. I'll pull up, I'll kill you for real, man. Yo ass HFE Larry, yo ass a goofy, man.
Damn.
Yo ass is a bitch, boy. Stop fucking playing me. Go play with somebody else, bro. I'll fuck you up for real. I don't even play like that, gang. For real.
Despite spending 3.5 years in jail, eventually Von would finally face trial for the murder of Malcolm Stuckey. Von's family tweeted from his Twitter account in November 2017 that they had been attending his trial at court. And despite what was originally thought to be a clear-cut case, Von's co-defendant would end up implicating himself and Von in the crime in an attempt to secure a deal with prosecutors, but ultimately backing out of that deal at the last minute, leaving prosecutors scrambling for any evidence that would actually implicate Von in the murder. Allegedly, eyewitnesses who saw Von that night failed to testify, and King Von would even later rap about the situation on the track What's Next, saying that they killed the only witness and that Big...
But I ain't tell nobody that I don't condone the snitches. A nigga told on me before he got a longer sentence. I think they gave him 28. He'd rather talk than listen. Bitch was the only one that told. They killed the other witness. Oh my God.
Big Mike was the only one who spoke. This turn of events would see King Von being acquitted of all charges due to lack of evidence, and Big Mike himself going down for 16 years, plus an extra 12 for backing out of a deal with prosecutors, so a total of 28 years.
Damn.
After this, King Von would be a free man once again, beating a body and returning to the streets of Chicago with his freedom and a clean slate. The family of Malcolm Stuckey would later admonish Von on social media for getting away with this.
So, this guy kills my brother and becomes a rapper? Okay, clown. I'll never listen to him. And that one Dirk song I did like, I'll never listen to that motherfucker again either. And this man is proud to say that he beat the case, throw my whole day away.
Murder and going on to become a rapper. But, as we'll soon learn, Von had zero shame about the things that he had done in the streets. In fact, he would wear the badge of a killer who beat a body with pride. And after killing an alleged 7 people in total, when Von got out of jail, it would be time for a new beginning, as the newly free King Von would take all of his stories from being a killer on the streets of Chicago and put them into songs, becoming a Chicago drill rapper with so much credibility as a gangster, his music simply could not be ignored. And soon, all over Chicago and around the world, Von's name would be ringing, as people would begin to discover what appeared to be the realest gangster rapper who ever lived.
Hey, man.
After being acquitted of all charges in the murder of Malcolm Stuckey, King Von would walk out of jail a free man once again around the 6th of December 2017, being seen walking fresh out of the gates on social media.
Oh, Villa, what's up? What's up? Put me out these last pins. Ah, big Ron out. How y'all coming?
Von would also return to Twitter as well as the streets, telling 16 Shot and Visuals that his friend E-Dog from O-Block picked him up and the first thing they did was go and buy a gun.
I want on the block. Who can give me E-Dog? I want on the block. And got a gun. Test me before they go kill him.
At the time of his release, Von wasn't yet a rapper. It's unclear if Von ever really had aspirations of transitioning from shooter to rapper. On the one hand, there's old tweets where he perhaps jokingly said that him and T-Roy had planned to release music, but nothing ever materialized. And on the other hand, he had also tweeted that if he ever starts rapping, you should kill the person closest to you, because something ain't right. So it's safe to say that at least initially, Von's plans were not music. At least not for himself, because one person who hadn't forgotten Von during his long 3.5 years in jail was his childhood friend and Chicago rap superstar Lil Durk, who had tweeted his support for Von whilst he was still in jail fighting his charges, and apparently calling him regularly, even providing money for a lawyer. Durk would welcome Von home from jail with open arms, with Von actually revealing later...
That's the only thing that Durk ain't lie about. Von home, Zoo next. They both came home. But every time he said D-Rose was coming home, that nigga did not come home. Every time he said Rondo was coming home, he did not come home. I ain't gonna lie, bro. But I still want them 2 niggas out, because I ain't gonna lie, Rondo is making some shit, you feel me? For the music-wise, obviously, for music purposes, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if Rondo actually did what he did. We really don't know the facts about that. But for music purposes, you know what I'm saying? But, you know...
for a lawyer. Durk would welcome Von home from jail with open arms, with Von actually revealing later that his friendship with Durk had initially had an ulterior motive, and that at first he was just planning to hang around Durk and rob people that he knew just to get himself to $100,000.
I wasn't no rapper, so it wasn't my none of that rapping shit. I'm thinking like, I just need to get 100,000. I'm gonna be decent. I'm gonna rob this, and I'm trying to rob this other. And this is what I was thinking in jail when I was, before I got to jail, talk to your homie in jail. They say, what you gonna do? I say, I'm gonna go around dirt, and I'm just gonna catch me. I'm gonna go around dirt, and I'm gonna catch me like 2-3 months. You see what I'm saying? And Dirk, I ain't gonna let him know because he gonna try to stop me.
After coming home from jail, music was the last thing on King Von's mind. He just wanted to get money and flex his newfound freedom. He would be seen fresh home, posing in new outfits on Instagram, with pictures celebrating his freedom.
Yo, Zoom, what's the word, Zoom? My nigga, bro. Appreciate the 6 months.
Attracting threats from his enemies like FBG Cash. But it seemed that
my bro, that nigga, my homie. This is my last time saying free folks because he will be home tomorrow. Everybody don't dick ride at once, especially if y'all wasn't answering them calls or sending no bread. Damn, Tay was really showing love. Listen to bread. A lot of niggas wasn't built for this shit, and we found out every time we lose the guys. From my brother, he was always with me on whatever. Cash said he better be safe because I'm dangerous. Oh
that Von's friends would be looking out for him, and no one was looking out for Von more during this time than Lil Durk, who would invite Von into his life and entourage.
Nigga, here y'all go, the VYB lyrics, oh my god.
As he continued his rise as one of Chicago's most promising rappers. Durk was working on his 2018 mixtape Just Cause Y'all Waited, and that tape featured the classic track Durky-O Crazy. Soon after getting out of jail, Von would be sitting in the back of Durk's car previewing this future classic before it was released. Perhaps the reason that Durk wanted to play Von this track is because the song itself references Von's case, with Durk rapping that a witness went missing and now Von is coming home.
That song is my shit. And they couldn't find a witness, Von gonna be home. He didn't want to keep it tennis because his days was long. Oh my god, Chad, this is my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I ain't worried. I ain't stressed about no money. I do shit for niggas and they act like they don't love me.
Once again, Von's real life of crime was providing inspiration for Chicago's biggest rappers. Clearly, Durk was inspired by the return of his newly freed hitter and would continue spending time with him. Later that day, in the same Instagram Live, King Von would explain to Durk how he grew his hair in jail just to keep himself warm, and explaining just how painful the shackles were that he was forced to wear whilst in solitary confinement.
It was cold them nights. It was cold them nights. For them great, I'm under that blanket. Ooh, it was ugly. Ankle still got that scar on it. Look for the thing. Shackles, them killing.
Going to court?
In the hole, you gotta wear shackles.
Oh, no?
Man, everything.
Every day?
Every time you come out. Oh. Yeah, every day. You gotta get on the phone, man.
This when you walk, we can this.
Right. No, it'd be the back of my shit, because my ankle's little as hell. I'm full on. Look, I got that killing on. Damn.
Von would seemingly spend Christmas 2017 with Durk
really
too,
showed him
with
love.
them being seen together on social media, listening to classic Chicago drill anthems by L.A. Capone. Moving into 2018, Von started off in classic savage mode, posting on social media, toting guns, and declaring his desire to bring war to his ops. He had been seen on clips on social media, walking through O-Block and showing the world that he was still in these...
Niggas done upgraded the artillery.
31 months gang.
This is what, yo, Chad, this is what we call a tier 1 faction. They're now tier 2. Do you see what I'm saying? They now got buttons, 30s. Yo, King Chicago, thank you for the 31 months. Exclamation point, subscribe to the stream. Right, they got the tier up.
Even after all of the people he had allegedly killed. Even speculating on who was in the comments on these lives, his ops or the cops.
Cold. Oh, yeah, that block. You know I'm with that block. Hey, y'all in the house, so it's home. I don't be knowing if these are fans or folks now. Folks are acting like fans.
As January went on, Von would continue to flex his muscles on social media, and he would be seen listening to NBA Youngboy of all people, whilst chilling with O-Block native Munna Duke and telling followers that they were smoking their dead ops.
A lot of your dead mans. Phone them. Tuka man, goddamn it, Brick man, Kobe man. And we stopped.
Clearly, Von was still in the streets initially. After enjoying some time in Atlanta with Lil Durk, once he'd returned to Chicago in February, he'd quickly find himself in trouble, tweeting that he was riding around with a gun and weed. Then he would end up getting arrested at O-Block on February the 14th, 2018, the 1-year anniversary of T-Roy's death. With this arrest taking place soon after he tweeted that he was in O-Block and armed on the anniversary of T-Roy's murder. Von would be arrested on charges of shooting and bodily harm, with cops claiming that he ran from them and threw a gun, battering them in the process of the arrest, with the body cam footage of this arrest later becoming public, which showed a menacing King Von telling the police with pride that he just beat a body and 2 attempted murders.
So this is gentleman we were chasing, but on video they went back, went under the cars where we think he ditched it, got in the vehicle, we stopped the vehicle, get him out, battery, fight with that, vehicle takes off on us when we got this, and then we got about 50 people around us. So what happened? You're gonna go to jail for battery to a police officer.
Who I hit?
Me?
Where?
And you also.
I got everything. Where
at? Thank you very much. We'll take it then.
I've been cuffed since I was in the country. If I go home, it's Valentine's Day.
You got the plate number since you got it on tape, man? Oh, you don't have that. What's your last name? I know, but I was pen ready.
Come on, Bennett.
Switch them up.
2 N's, 2 T's.
Watch it, because he's gonna. You live here?
They want. You ain't want me living here now. I live in London. No, I think I'm trying to
What?
You got a middle?
Yeah, why you guys want it?
How about date of birth?
And she was here the whole time videotaping.
94.
Oh, well, for majority, but not when we got him out of the car.
Yeah, a lot of times.
I cuffed him this way because we had
Cause y'all let me go to my Valentine's Day.
You talked to jail.
I just got it. You don't know me. That's what I'm saying.
What were you locked up for?
A body and 2 attempts.
I'm sorry? You want it, you can have it.
You said a body and 2 attempts.
Yes. He's all kinds of fun.
No, this nigga is trolling these niggas.
Got you.
Let go, stupid man.
No, we got you.
Let go.
Hey, we got it from here.
All right. You got locked up over here recently?
No, hell no.
Where'd you locked up at?
Huh? I got it. J.I. beat my case. I was charged with the first degree murder.
You on video right now, man.
It's cool.
Put your hands behind your back.
He beat it. It
I'm
don't
gonna tell you
matter.
right now. Put that on video.
We're gonna figure it out.
Now I'm not under arrest.
Yes, you are.
For what?
Probably trespass over here
Oh, yeah.
and hitting a guy.
Hitting who? Everybody got fur hood.
He kind of smart though, chat. Like he's street smart. Like, yo, careful, think with Risa. He's street smart. Like, he's tricking these niggas. Like,
Are you injured? Do you need an ambulance? Does he batter you? Okay, no problem.
Thank you.
nigga asking if he needs an ambulance. Nah, this nigga's trolling.
He asked him, man. The super cop.
Where's his coat?
It's in the back seat of the Infinity.
It's gone?
They took off, yeah.
After the arrest, a furious-looking King Von mugshot circulated online, but
I've
Von would be
never
out
seen that
within just
mugshot a
after
day
the
in my
arrest.
life. I've never seen this mugshot a day in my life. He flies out on that Gucci polo
A
shirt.
furious-looking King Von mugshot circulated online, but Von would be out within just a couple of days, tweeting that he believes that the cops have it out for him because he escaped those murder charges, and he would boast that he would never let them get him. Clearly, King Von wasn't ready to permanently move on from his life as an O-Block hitter, and he would still be going live on O-Block in March 2018, mocking their dead ops.
Right. Who got Tuka Man? That's what we need. Hurry to Tuka Man! My show got Kurt, Poppy, man. I can't be in no room without smelling Tuka. I gotta at least smell it for them just to know like Tuka's still around. And loving memory of Tuka.
But Von would also
still around Tuka. Motel P flag. Smell it. My show got Kurt, Poppy, man. I can't be in no room without smelling Tuka. I gotta at least smell it for them just to know like Tuka's still around.
3, 4, 5.
And loving memory of Tuka.
But Von would also continue to be seen hanging out closely with Lil Durk, seemingly making regular trips to spend time with the rapper in Atlanta. At a certain point, Von and Durk would be reunited with another friend and feared Chicago shooter, THF Bezu, with Bezu, just like Von, beating a 2014 murder charge for a shooting that occurred in 2009. Lil Durk was now rolling with 2 certified Chicago shooters on his team. But the plan wasn't to shoot. Durk planned instead to transform these hardened street figures into rap superstars. The realest rappers who had ever rapped, with the realest backstories to back it up. Von would post pictures in the studio with Durk, saying that he isn't going back to his old ways, and hinting to an upcoming career in the rap
Durk's
game.
a W
Since
man
beating
for
his
that.
murder case and coming home, Von had the perfect backstory to kickstart his music career too. THF Bezu had essentially been through the very same situation, so Von and Bezu would be paired up and placed into a studio where they would record a song all about their shared experience beating real-life murder charges, something that Von and Bezu would open up about in a 16 Shot interview.
Me and Zook used to be bodies and Like, that's the story we continue. Like, they try to put some bodies we ain't doing, and we beat them.
On May the 27th, 2018, King Von and THF Bezu released their first song, Beat That Body, a track coming with shocking lyrics where Von essentially admits to catching bodies, beating them, and even saying that he now plans to catch more. This...
Oh boy, what the fuck I'm known for? Caught a body, beat that body, catch some more. Lil Savage and me that ain't never gone. Mask up, they can't tell who the fuck is
essentially admits to catching bodies, beating them, and even saying that he now plans to catch more. This insane backstory would be irresistible for Chicago drill fans, with Dirk later revealing that people instantly went crazy for Von's music in Chicago.
And he see like us, what we doing is music, and I had a studio in my house. He just tried it. When he dropped the song, like the reaction was just like, he next. I'm like, oh, you on to something, you know what I'm saying?
But Von didn't seem too hopeful for his rap career to begin with, barely promoting the song, and seemingly having no plans to give up his full-time job as an O-Block driller, or at least shot caller, because in the months that followed Von's musical debut, killings would still continue to play out in the streets, with Von appearing to remain plugged into the action. Not only giving Von and his gang even more credit in the streets, but with these murders also providing Von with the inspiration to get back into the booth, where he would continue to record music all about the deadly violence that he would soon become famous for. While King Von was in jail, numerous people from O-Block ended up getting killed. Perhaps it was precisely because their most fearless shooter was in jail that so many people ended up passing while he was gone. Von was particularly hurt by the killing of T-Roy, his right-hand man, and after T-Roy was killed, a new set of gangsters would form in O-Block who went by the name Get Back Gang. This was a hardened crew of shooters whose sole focus was to get revenge or get back for the murder of T-Roy and other beloved O-Block natives who had been killed while Von was in jail. Another one of these fallen O-Block affiliates was Chino, who was shot dead on the 17th of July 2016. Another, Big A, was gunned down in a restaurant near O-Block on the 4th of December 2016. Get Back Gang would be on a killing spree trying to avenge their fallen friends, looking to kill anyone who played a role in their demise. Poppy, believed to have been involved in hits against O-Block, would be gunned down at work on the 16th of June 2017, allegedly being shot in the head by an O-Block member called Heck, who would go on to be known by the nickname HK or Headshot King. HK was T-Roy's brother and would reportedly avenge him, with T-Roy's alleged killer TB or Terry Barry being shot dead on the 26th of December 2017. However, HK himself would end up being killed in O-Block 2 just before Von got out of jail on the 24th of November 2017. Another person who seemingly lost their life to Get Back Gang's revenge campaign during this time would be FBG Brick, FBG Doug's brother, rumoured to have played a role in giving up T-Roy's location to the ops the day he was killed, with Brick and his friend Kobe being gunned down in a Get Back Gang attack on the 17th of July 2017. In fact, many of these murders played out in 2017 whilst Von was still behind bars for the murder of Malcolm Stuckey. And when Von got out, despite becoming a rapper, spending time in Atlanta with Lil Durk, and seemingly taking a step away from the gang war, Von would still seem to be looked at as a senior figure and shot caller to members of O-Block and Get Back Gang. And when they killed again, King Von would be on the sidelines celebrating the murder as if it was one of his own. On June the 13th, 2018, King Von would tweet saying that there's a new rule.
New rule, you can only smoke on or diss a motherfucker you killed. Looks like a lot of you niggas ain't finna be dissing a nigga.
You can only diss or smoke a dead person that you yourself actually killed. Only days after that tweet.
I ain't gonna lie, New York niggas definitely don't abide by that rule. I ain't gonna lie, New York niggas definitely don't abide by that shit. Like.
Get Back Gang would unfortunately claim another life. The next unlucky person to be killed would be a St. Lawrence native by the name of Can't Get Right, aka Man Man, real name DeAndre Wallace. On June the 15th, 2018, around 9:50 PM, Can't Get Right is waiting for food outside of a store on 400 block of East 63rd Street. At a certain point, two people pulled up and waited outside, and when the target was spotted, those two men ran up, opening fire, killing both the target as well as an innocent bystander that was just there sweeping up outside the restaurant. And once again, the shooting and immediate aftermath were captured on CCTV footage and by witnesses in clips that are far too grisly to show you on YouTube. Both men shot in the incident were pronounced dead at the University of Chicago Hospital, with the news even later reporting on this assassination.
Morning are looking for the gunman who killed two men overnight. They were standing outside of a store in the city's Woodlawn neighborhood when someone started shooting. A 43-year-old man was shot in the chest. He died at the hospital. The other victim, A 22-year-old also died. Police say the 22-year-old
RP.
is a known gang member and was the intended target.
King Von would go live on the same day as this double murder alongside Mimo 600 while still in Atlanta with Lil Durk's team. And in this live, King Von would set out to poke fun at his murdered rivals immediately after they were killed. And let's not forget, only days before this, King Von tweeted that you can't disrespect the dead unless you played a role in killing them. With that in mind, King Von's livestream after the murder was truly a masterclass in self-incrimination. They would start the live off lighting a blunt and saying that their smoking can't get right and asking the viewers what just happened.
There you go. Can't get right. There you go. There you go. Because I can't get right.
All right, everybody, not at one time. What just happened? What just happened?
A lot of glizzies and efforts.
Oh, you right there with your hand. You tell me what happened. Who got killed? That's what I'm asking y'all. Who got killed, gang?
Yeah.
Can't get right, got killed.
Word. Can't get right, got
Hey, somebody show me a picture. I don't think I know y'all talking about. Is this can't get...
Is that can't get right? Hold on, is this him? Is this
right? This ain't called snitching. I'm just trying to get verified. Verification.
From here, people start commenting, can't get up. And it seems that the O-Block hitters are so amused by this wordplay, they essentially confess to being involved in the murder on the spot.
They tell us can't get up. Oh no.
They always make some shit before we do it. They beat us to it every time.
Y'all should start killing people. Cause y'all be doing this. You doing the man.
Oh, Steve.
After this, we see the crew say that it's 2 people down and that they're going to have to roll another one, whoever it is, seemingly unaware that it was an innocent cleaner who was killed in the incident.
They said 2 down. Damn.
2 men that I can't take.
On David, they said it on both our lives.
I can barely take
2 piece. 2 piece. I can take one. Somebody roll another one.
Can't.
Whoever else got hit.
They even started reacting mockingly to the ops posting long tributes to their fallen friend on Instagram in real time in this live.
See that paragraph under that picture, you know it's over. Damn, best friend, you just told me to pop out. I remember back in the days when you just told me to pop out, best friend. Why the f you do me like this? You bogus as hell. They ain't try to.
They gonna be dissing you. You better not get caught like that.
From here, Von and his friends would continue mocking the ops by specific block and saying that the FN gave him a fresh fade like Lil Boosie.
Steady taking losses. STL. Steady taking losses. Motherfucker gave him a fresh fade. Boosie Boost.
Hey, they fuck with folks up.
Hey, why did they even put him on Front Street like he was even like that though?
Then King Von comes back and says straight up that Man must have known he was going to die and that no one will care he's gone.
He probably knew he was gonna die.
He did.
I wish I could talk to him for that. Don't nobody even care about Can't Get Right like that. I don't think they gonna slide like that. I don't think nothing finna happen because of that. So
they finna waste the rest of their money on that.
We ain't gonna act like